So just really excited about so many new beginnings for Divine Feminine and all of humanity's ascension, changes over the next 3 or 4 months. It's going to be really exciting. And we're right in the middle of spring equinox. So this is a really, really powerful time. As many are going to be finding out, many people that have been going through Ascension for so very long. I know that so many of my loyal clients, we've been with each other for so long, since KCOR days. There's going to be lots of changes and shifts. God's going to make sure that I'm going to be up on many platforms, many different platforms, sharing my wisdom, so much wisdoms that I've had to kind of culminate all of the years that I've been a master here, as well as the culminating energies of all of my ancient timelines and other timelines within space and the galactic federations and the many planets. So I'm really excited about sharing all that I've learned and all that I've kind of allowed myself to expand into, and doing the daily work to release what needs to be released, knowing that you can step into new beginnings. You can absolutely step into new paradigms, even if you might be scared to step out into something new. I challenge and I empower you every day to do something new. Step out, create that positive, loving mindset. If you think and remember those times where people told you couldn't, or, the furrowed brows, whatever it might be that would be challenging you, just know that you can step into new arenas. You can step into something that you never thought you could. You can absolutely, heal yourself from so much deep traumas. Like even sometimes when I sit and think about what I've been through, and why I just keep going, like I'm just this, I'm this ball of energy that just keeps going, like the Energizer Bunny, my teams have said, because it takes a lot for me to slow down. And when I think about all that I've been through, it really puts me aback, because it's been so very, very dark and challenging. So dark and challenging, to have been, put through what I was put through, and why my team said not many would have survived. There is absolutely human testing going on in the human collective. There's veils dropping every day. You're going to see things come out from different arenas of the social spectrum. As my teams told me, I think a month ago, I was channeled by the Galactic Federations when they were giving me things to look for. The UK political arena is going to be rewritten within 7 years. And we're also seeing a lot of those corruptions and the stories that are coming out now, bit by bit by bit by bit. And every single one of your lives, you're going to start pulling out these experiences of your own lives that were corrupt, of your own lives that had experiences in them that shouldn't have really gone the way that they did, but they did. And I know that in looking back and what I've been through, I know I've like, when I do my own life review, I feel really happy and proud, although it's an ongoing process to heal from what had occurred, because it was just so much abuse. It was so much emotional, mental, spiritual abuse and spiritual attacks for something that was 100% unnecessary. Other people refused to do the healing. They refused to look at their shadow, and they wanted to stay stuck in those old stories. So this is where the next 6 months to a year are really going to be important for humanity, for the leaders to really start implementing higher vibrational light training, light education, so that we can get back familiar with who we are as multidimensional beings, what we exist within, what exists within us, so that as many people as possible don't necessarily have to go through what I went through. Teaching the children how to look after their chakras and their multidimensional bodies, helping them reclaim their voice and their choice and the version of who they are as light. And then how to heal that and how to reconnect and realign really quickly, so that you don't have to go into a downward spiral just because other people want you in their stories. I know that my Christ consciousness and my vibration and my aura, they're changing it. My light body gets upgraded. Right now, my vibration is so high, and I'm having to really, really take care of my energy field. I get new activations all the time, and my electromagnetic field is really shifting, and it has an effect on those that are around me. And I know that. And so that sometimes can make people feel obsessive and compulsive and addictive to my energy. So I really have to be very careful. And this is why God is also making sure that a lot of old relationships are going to be cut off, and they're going to have to seek, assessment and counseling and other ways that they can be healed, or through other light workers, or through Reiki, or all of our videos are about ascension and self-evolution and about self-empowerment. So, but other people that from my past, they're going to have to find other people to connect with, because God will start closing those off and and culling them out, just because it's just too dangerous for my field. It's too dangerous for my everyday experience to constantly be clearing and cleansing and blocking. And I mean, it's just nonsense for me to continue to do that when these people have been told for 15 years and 8 years and 6 years why the divorce was the way it was. It's so delayed and so derailed. There were so many hands in delaying it. It really should have only been 2 years, and it took over 6. So the final papers of divorce have gone through to King's Court. Hopefully, if there's no hands that are interfering in it, and if there are interference, and if there is blocks and things going on there, then we know that there's obviously more interference and more games being played. There shouldn't, because I do have my rights. Again, my entire life experience is about other people thinking they have say over my life, because they're in wounding, they're in judgment of themselves, they're in self-rejection of themselves. And so when I come forward to speak my life and what my personal experience has been, it's my energy of 100% truth, and my love for who I am, and not stopping and just continuing to be the person that I'm meant to be, because it's been a lifetime of slipping into the systems of placing us in boxes and mediocrity, and, being okay with being around people that abuse you mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, and wanting you to be stuck in their less than world so that they can feel okay about not performing in their highest devotion of self and soul fulfillment and soul creativity. And so there was so much that was wrong with the past 8 years, so much. I mean, it was stealing my work, stealing my identity, stealing my ID, stealing everything that was me, and having every day for me to come forward and reclaim who I was. Every day come forward, reclaim my power, my light, my truth. I mean, it was just constant. It was constant sabotage, constant derailing, because other people weren't willing to look at themselves. They wanted me to stay stuck so they could continue feeding off of my energy, feeding off my ideas, because of the businesses that were done behind the scenes and the suppressing that were done. I mean, it was just so much corruption. How any one person is meant to process what I went through is just unbelievable. The amount of abuses that were targeted, on every level of my life, for no reason. These gangs and these people don't even know me. My ex was a part of a cult, a coven, and it was just people being called in to make sure that the agenda is to stop me, to suppress me, for me not to receive, for me not to have, for me not to move about my life as if I had no rights. And we can see with the social collective agendas that are coming out, these people are sent in to target certain light workers, and why my channel has been suppressed for 6 years, the equal time of my divorce. And my teachings are exactly what the collective needs, because there is so much that goes on in communities through these underground demonic cults, that there's a lot of mental mind scraping going on, the voodoo and the conjuring that messes up the mental space tenfold, especially if you have groups of people that are not healing their wounds, that are not doing the ascension work, if they're not practicing self-love and self-care, and they're not healing their shadow. That mental mind scraping, the domination, satanic rituals of sacrificing, blood rituals, animal rituals, dancing on cemeteries, all of that stuff just is just insane. It goes back to insaneness of the entire multidimensional bodies. The psyche will separate from itself, and they'll go through psychotic breaks. So there'll be really versions of, psychomania. They need to be psychoanalysis. They need to go in and get themselves checked into a psych ward, to get those assessments done. Because for this to have gone on for 6 years, and for a divine feminine to have said stop so many times, there doesn't need to be 6 years of saying stop. To be 6 years of saying stop. There should only be once. When a divine feminine says no, it means no. Right? So if there's a divine feminine, doesn't have to say no 100 times a day, every day, and then have to, do cleansing and clearings and cutting cords. You should never have to do that. So it's really important. It's really important that you stand in your truth, you stand in your rights, and keep speaking about your life's experience, your soul's experience, knowing that you do have human rights, you do have spiritual rights. Your spiritual rights are first and foremost, right use of free will and non-interference, the law of balance, and the natural law of flow. So if any one of those is off and you've done your part of it, that's when you surrender it to God, and God will assure that there'll be extra counsels, guides. You've had your lessons, you've done your learning, you've looked at it from a multidimensional perspective, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, and etherically and sexually, because you are a multidimensional being. It's up to you to process those energies. But you also have the respect of your space, the respect of your bodies and your fields, especially when you're going through activations with your light body, because you're going to be turning on many more multidimensional psychic gifts and skills. And you can't have people that have not done the work, that are refusing to do the work, that just want to keep targeting you and attacking you because life is easier with you in their field, because you balance their chaos out. They have to learn how to balance their own mental multidimensional bodies, their mental fields. If they're not doing, again, why it's so important for everybody to do the daily work, because if you're not healing your soul fragments and you're not calling in to harmonize all of your soul fragments that are out of alignment through the shadow, if you're not calling in those soul fragments, you will continually to have mental imbalance. And then on top of that, the people that have been targeting me and the many groups that are coming out in the collective are the underground cults and sect groups, Masonic groups that target divine feminines. They target light workers. You know, the mental projections of the agendas of really Epstein and Hitler-like type of mental destruction, you know, mental human weaponry, you know, to use it through psychic attacks, through psychic warfare, spiritual warfare. Every day I get spiritually attacked. And so it's not okay. And spirit has had enough, because these people are now in a state of psychosis because of all the backfire of their own, like their own, you know, spell work. That spell work has to go somewhere, which we've been saying for 6 years. And so all of these people are now experiencing their own backfire, whether it be them gossiping and talking and targeting me for 6 years. All of those energies are going back to them, and they're being blocked, karma's hitting, whatever the return is. But these people know to leave me alone. They've been told legally, they've been told spiritually, they've been told in these videos, because some of them still stalk. They will be blocked eventually, and they won't allow access to my fields or to my videos or to my content. They have to find other lightworkers to go to. I shouldn't have to be targeted just because I speak a higher truth of what God is, because I'm coming forward and speaking a higher truth for divine feminine. That's never been talked about or offered on the planet. It has to be. We're not going to stay stuck in a misogynistic, corruptive, Epstein-like underworld, you know, grotesque experience of selling our bodies, and that's all that we're seen for, and to be put in our place. So everybody has soul fragments, and that is the 51% of karma every person is meant to heal. Everybody has to heal their 51% of karma. And if you're doing spell work and voodoo and jar work, and if you're interfering in people's lives, you have more karma on top of that. You're not getting the lessons. And so all of our videos have talked about how to heal those experiences. When you have your daily experiences and you're being provoked and you're being challenged and you've got that shadow energy, the shadow energy are those 7 sins. Whether it's envy, greed, gluttony, impatience, all of those things are part of your shadow energy. And your spirit, and when you're working with spirit guides, your spirit guides will show you what energies you're working in, what you need to transmute and move beyond. It's called being multidimensional in a responsible way, not just continually the same toxic patterns and the same toxic attacks and abuses and expect a change, because that is insanity. When you continue to behave in the same way, but you expect to have people, you know, come at you and want blessings and to be a part of your life. You know, so you can't expect a change when you're operating in the same disrespectful, disregarding way. Respect all people and love all people, and focus on your own focus of life, direction of who you are, your multidimensional bodies, your higher self, and start working with spirit within your higher self. Everybody has a higher self, and that higher self is guiding you in every moment. Your higher self is always guiding you. And this is why the underground groups and the sect and the cults and all those things, it's a complete ruining of your life. You're going into something knowing you're giving your power away to others that have no idea what they're doing. They're wounded too. So why would you do that? Why would you give your power and be with people that have no idea who they are? They have no idea who they are, and they're gathering and they're creating these agendas to hurt people. You're creating karma on top of karma on top of karma, plus the 51% you already have to clear. It's a mess. It's an insane mess. So all of these things are coming out. But in my personal story, I've gone through my entire life of being here and being in, toxic, situations from childhood all the way up to, trying everything that I can, and the heavens, using the heavens and all the legions for me to be divorced. Why is that necessary? Why does only one divine feminine, why does the one divine feminine have to use legions and Mother, Father, God, and Archangel Michael to get a divorce? Why does divine feminine have to do that? Why can't no just be no? I did all the right steps. I took all the right moves. I did all the right things. I was kind. I was patient. I was tolerant. God and I and our teams together, because many of these beings come from other dimensions and other universes, and we were all set in the spiritual realm to help one another transition into a higher vibrational realm. And because of the other universes and all the other timelines and all of the ancient times that we've been together, God gave everybody 6 years to break all of the codependency energies, because the group and the gang that they were a part of had come from, they had been together in many, many different timelines. But this timeline is where everybody was meant to just return back to their own divine higher self, source life, the life force that source is, and everybody learn how to work with life force themselves instead of being in that beehive mentality and that cult coven mentality of, codependence mess, and relying on one or two people to do all the work, and relying on one or two people to do all the ideas and to feed the battery source of the hive. Thank you, Holy Spirit. And that's not ascension. Ascension is you are utterly 100% responsible for everything. Responsible for your life force. And if you join those cults and covens and do black magic and voodoo and jar work, you're giving your life force to other energies and entities. And especially if you're sharing your life force with those that share their life force and do polyamorous, porn, orgy, sex type of stuff. Because you've got entities and demonic entities attached to you. And it's just a nightmare and a mess. I knew all of that 6 or 7 and 8 years ago. And I said, no, I don't want any part of this. I have my rights. Everything that was presented on the side of what has happened has been 100% defamation of my character, defamation of my work, people stealing from me, people taking from me. Everything you can imagine has been happening to me in the past 8 years. Plus, on top of that, all of the other soul fragments that I had to heal on my own, all of the other dimensional stuff I was dealing with, all of the other childhood issues I was dealing with, all of the other social things that I was helping humanity with, all of my clients, writing my books, of the raising of the collective, because I am a master here. So I'm always constantly adding to the collective story because I'm a psyche expert, the wounding of the collective, where the stories come from, how are they come from, because we come from so many different Akashic lineages, so many familial dogmatic lineages. All of these things are being brought up to be healed. And because I do have a higher intelligence, it's my role to help teach and offer the highest vibrational guidance, and that which I do, because my field affects everybody. My truth affects everybody, and I know that. But what I have been through is like a constant daily experience of, why do I have to keep coming forward to say the same truth a million times for people to get the same message? Especially those from the past. Those from Calgary know what they stole from me. Those from Calgary know how many times they've falsified my ID. They've used my ID. They've stolen my ID. They've taken things they shouldn't have taken. It was absolute theft, fraud, and forgery. They know that. That cult, that coven has spent years attacking me for no reason. Under the guidance and the direction of my ex and whoever they were all involved with, whatever their reasons or motives are, I don't care about that. I don't care what their motives are. There should be no motives to attack people. And if there are, you need to go seek assessment before people get hurt and harmed, which is, I have documented proof of what I've said then and I say now. It's the same thing I've said. The same thing I've said. I've said the same thing. They're just ignorant people that get in to abuse people. They abuse people, like the people that are on the line. They're just abusers. So it's like they get their right to be abusive, but when we come on and speak our truth, That's a different thing. So how is that? So this is where everybody has to step up. Every community has things that go on in the community. And if nobody speaks up, nothing changes. Even if you know things are going on, you don't do anything, it's still karma. You will receive karma for not doing what is right. You will receive karma for not bringing truth. You will receive karma when a divine feminine says, no, it's enough. You need to stop, it's enough. Nobody was invited into my field. If you think that you're attracted and you think that you want a partnership with me, if you think you want this, if you think you want that, I didn't invite you. I didn't invite you. There's no invite. Everybody from the past, I don't know anybody in these gangs. I don't know anybody. I don't know any of these people. They've never met me in person. Besides the one person that was sent to me as a fake client and that was paid to be a fake client. I didn't meet them in person, but I met them as a client in my classes. Otherwise, I didn't meet any of these people. None of these people know me, that stole from me, that signed my signature, that attack me every day with spell work, that attack me every day and talk bad about me. Everybody's getting karma because of the horrible, horrible attacks that have been going on for 8 years. Doesn't have to go, none of it was necessary. I have to heal from that daily. And every time I take a step forward, there's more and more attacks because these people don't think that I have a right to move on my own and to be on my own and to be exactly who I am. Nobody has right over anybody else's life. Who the hell are these people that think they have a right to control somebody on any level? I don't understand any of it. None of it makes sense. It's just an abusive group. They're just abusive groups that are by abusive people. So divine feminine, if divine masculines are being abused and they're being controlled and enslaved and blackmailed and all of these things, you know that you're being abused when every time you take a step forward, there's 5 or 6 things that come after it because they're just hanging on to your energy. They do it by dreams, they do it by spell casting, they do it by voodoo and jar work and all the things that are meant to come through for you, and it just gets delayed and delayed and delayed and delayed, and then you have to keep referring to God because nobody has that right to keep fucking with your life just because they don't want you to move forward because they're insecure and they're with their issues. Even though they've been given 8 and 10 and 15 years, while they were out creating secret families, while they were out making a whole bunch of money off my ideas and my work. So it's okay for them to do everything and to get all their dicks all sucked on for years and years and years and have as many partners as they want. It's okay for them to go out and party while I was at home being a mom, writing books, trying to survive. I don't party. I don't do drugs. Never done drugs, with the exception of a few joints way back in my teenage years. Don't do drugs, don't drink. I've been celibate for 15 years. I don't live a party life. My devotion is spirit. My devotion is the evolution for divine feminine. My devotion is this spiritual experience for humanity. And I've devoted my life to it. Literally devoted my life to it. I don't understand what's gone on the past 15 years. I don't understand. I don't understand people that cheat on people. I don't understand people that have mistresses when they're already married. I don't get that. That doesn't make sense to me. I don't get where we have corrupt leaders. I don't get anything about nuclear war. I don't get that. I don't get if you're a leader and you're putting millions and millions and millions into nuclear warheads. I have a higher vibrational understanding of life. And it's hard for me to be in such low vibrational, degrading, abusive, just vile hatred. Psychopathic hatred that the healing has not been important. I don't get that. I don't get how obvious things are, and people are okay with psychopathic abuse. I don't get that, and how when you bring it up, nothing gets done because they need actual proof. So you've got to have cameras set up and you've got to have this whole thing set up before anything gets done. So I'm going to be a part of helping rewrite those laws. Because you shouldn't have to wait till death occurs. You shouldn't have to wait till harm occurs. You shouldn't have to wait till families get destroyed before these secret cults and covens and Mason groups and the corrupt monies that go into abusing one person. I don't understand that. I don't understand any of it. So there's something going on that's far bigger and grander. Why is that? Why was there $50,000+ spent on trying to kill me? Why was that? And there's probably so much more money, so many more people that were involved. bankers, judges, lawyers, real estate people. There's a lot of fraud and a lot of theft and a lot of money's changing hand to have me silenced. Why has my YouTube channel, out of all the channels on YouTube, why has mine not grown? Not one person. Why has mine not grown? There was a lot of money made off of me. I haven't seen one penny. I have not been paid one penny by anybody. I've signed no contracts. I've given my permissions to nobody. Nobody has had permission to use me, my word, my work, my videos, my signatures. Nobody's had permission. Why would they? Why would I give anybody permission? I kind of stand for human rights and I'm an advocate. I'm an ambassador for children's advocacy. I do research on human rights laws, and I'm going to help write new ones, and I'm going to see everybody in court for everybody that's been abusing me for 6 years. Just because they thought it was fun to get together and do spell work so that I don't have a life, so that I never move on. So again, those people that were paying people to make sure that they spy on me and they stalk me and they send monitoring spirits and they keep tabs on me like I'm handled or something. Who the fuck is anybody? Who, like, even to talk about this sounds so ridiculous and vile. It sounds so ridiculous and vile. Who the hell is anybody to say, keep an eye on her? Make sure that nobody comes near her and nobody touches her and she can't have life and she can't have fun and she can't be with people and she can't have people that love her and nobody can give to her. She's going to have nothing given to her. We're going to make sure that she's going to be in poverty forever because we got to make sure she doesn't receive. Who the fuck is anybody? Who are you to say I don't receive? Do you hear yourself? Is this for real? And I'm not the only divine feminine that's been ripped out of her home, isolated, life deranged, life deconstructed by voodoo, jar work, illegal constructs. The human testing is a very real thing. And there's many people in the entertainment world that are also going through the same thing where their lives just so happen they get sick because they don't know how to work with their bodies. They don't know how to reclaim their mental body. They don't know how to reclaim their Christ consciousness. That's why my team said very few make it through what I did. And there's people coming forward every day. We'll see it every day coming out where the people that they were attacked, they're going mentally insane or they're having their monies now handled by conservatories. That's the exact same thing that was going on with me. Why would I need a conservatory? I'm smarter than anybody and I'll talk any of you under the table. So fucking insane. When there's been zero conversations with anybody. Zero conversations, haven't been to a doctor in like 6 years. Don't need to because I'm in perfect health. I know what I am. I align with God. God, if there's something wrong with my physical body, I get God in me and we start working on it. It's healed by the next day. But all of a sudden people have rights on my money. Well, okay, well, where's the money? Why would you have rights on my money? Why would you have signing authority on my money? I don't even know you. Why would you be taking money out in my name? Why would you know about my signature? Why do you know about my ID? Why do you know about my life and why are you involved in my life? You don't have any rights on my life. I don't even know you. My ex is my ex for a reason. There's been zero contact with my ex with the exception through lawyers. My texting chat line is very, very small, 3 or 4 people. I have a very small group of friends, and they're nobody from Calgary. I know who I am. I'm a very divine, sacred, wise, benevolent, high vibrational, high intelligent being. I would never be friends with, I would never have any of these people in my circle to be friends with them because they are nothing but corrupt. They are corrupt, very unkind, very wounded people. And they come on the chat line and they become arrogant and they become hateful and they attack because they are disconnected. They're disconnected from their reality. They're disconnected from who they are as spirit. I have my right to say what my life experience is. My divorce was an utter joke. $50,000 that it has cost me thus far. 4 extra years that should have been done in 2, so there's obviously agendas. Why wasn't the divorce put through in 2 years? when it was very, very simple. It could have been done and closed in 2 years for the benefit of the all. I mean, if people say they really care and they want the best for the children, if that was the case, then these people would have allowed it to be closed, my ex and whoever he was involved with, right? If it was the case. But it was dragged out for 6 years, extra money for everybody. The children and I were suffering through the whole thing, but so obviously there was no care about the children. Extra delays because didn't want the paperwork to go through the courts. Why? Because, well, maybe there's other marriages involved. Maybe there's other illegal things going on. Maybe there's other documents there that were forged and falsified that nobody wanted to find out about. Maybe it's because I wasn't supposed to get any of the money because the money is actually mine and nobody had fucking rights over it but me. Nobody has rights over my life but me. Who says and who made anybody any signature or authority over my life? And why? Why? Because they had false narratives that they wanted to be overrun by mine. It's no different than any of the infinite stories that are out there right now that are all coming to the forefront about so many people that have been discriminated against for money, for inheritances, for wills, for falsification of everything. So many things of people pilfering and filtering monies that they have no right to. This is why we keep talking about deathbed confessions. We keep talking about understanding the will, the rights and the wills of those in your family. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Inheritances and wills and properties and finances and all of those things, you're being tested in every moment. You're being tested in every moment. Are you in the right use of free will and non-interference? And when you're sitting at the family dinner table and people are talking about properties and monies and all of these things and they have no right to. It's not your property. It's not your money. Get the hell out. Go to a class. Maybe go educate yourself. Maybe go get some healing and work on yourself. Stay out of people's lives. Stay out of people's lives. Stop commenting on people's lives. Stop trying to make others people feel bad because you feel bad about who you are. Go get healed. Go get healed. That's what healing is about. Go get healed. People aren't going to want to be around you when all you do is push hate and projections at people because you're not healed. People aren't going to want to stay in a marriage with you if all you do is cheat and lie and deceive and manipulate and do spell work behind the scenes so that you make sure that you have 8 partners all the way around you so that 8 partners are giving to you while all these 8 partners have nothing. Who wants that? Why would anybody want that? And then it's like, oh, you got to be put in your place? Are you kidding me? So you get to have 8 partners, you get to lie and cheat and steal, and you get to have the big titles, but I'm meant to just sit at home and just feed you light and suck on your dick whenever you think that's fine. No. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Thank you, Holy Spirit. No. I've been celibate for 15 years and I've been estranged with my ex for 8 years for a reason. I absolutely will not. I will not allow low vibrational, warped, disgraceful beings in my space. They're not returning. Nobody from the past has done anything but hate, target, steal, defame, degrade, violate every one of my human rights laws, every one of my spiritual laws. You can't even, the spirit guides and the heavens have shown me, there's no number that can count the number of spiritual violations that have been done on me in the past 15 years. And that's not even including what was done in my early childhood, because a lot of that was my soul's contract for my lineage and for the things that I was chosen to work through, because I am a master. So I'm okay with that. I understand I came with a really tough soul blueprint. On top of that soul blueprint, this is what I'm saying to everybody about the violations of voodoo, magic, and any type of interference on any level. Just up to the past 15 years. 15 years, not only did I make it through, but it was another 10 times harder blueprint than anybody else had to go through, because of the additional group spell work and the group fuckery and the human testing. So it's like I've lived probably 10 times what the normal person had to go through. For no reason, just because these people wanted to target me and hate me and get what they wanted. The vile experience of never having to let me go, not wanting me to see me happy or to see me be how, and I don't get that kind of mentality. It's so hard for me to be Christic and loving and a healer and to be all of these things. I just see the love and the joy of everybody. To be in experiences where people hate you so much, they want to see you suffering for the rest of your life. This is how people actually are. That's how much hate is in their heart. They don't have anything kind and good to say. Instead of reading a good book or going into to do their own healing, they say vile, disgusting things on chat lines. This is the mentality and the psychology of people. It's like they're low vibrational porn clones. I don't get this. I don't get it at all. It's very vile. So I wanted to come on and I wanted to state this very, very clearly and with great honor, with great surety, with great clarity. There is going to be no reconciliation of any kind in any way. No business, no meeting, no baking cookies, no sitting down for coffee with anybody from the past. There just won't be. There won't be. Nobody's going to be sending in people to try and throw me off. There's going to be nobody try to send people for me to date. God is stopping cult human testing bullshit that's gone on for 15 years. Every little tactic, scheme, and plot, everybody will be stopped. Everybody's being watched from Calgary. All the people that were doing what they were doing, the monies, the transfers, the IP addresses, everybody is being watched that has been attacking me. Everybody that puts dumbass notes on the comments, absolutely make sure that all of your profiles, everybody is being marked down on the profiles and everybody is being watched. Every comment that you make is being watched on every other chat group, and all of your comments for your hate and for your corruption that you're offering, everybody is being watched. So you think that you're watching me and you think that you've been sent to me to stalk me and to throw hate at me and throw me off and do your little whatever it is that you're doing. My guides have me protected. My guides have me veiled. Everybody is being watched. The human collective, there's authorities and there are police that are watching each and every person that posts a comment on my chat group. All IP addresses are being watched. Every IP address is being tracked back to everything else that is posted, whether it's an offshore account, whether it's your underground hate group, whether it's your underground technology group where you think that you're not being watched, but you're absolutely being watched. You want to know why? Because the legions and the federations are invisible and they'll pull anything out when they need to, how they need to. So anytime that you have a little comment on these chat groups, everybody is being marked down and your IP addresses are being tracked. Because abuse is abuse, and your crime, hate wars, and your little crime attacks, and all the things that you do to make any person's life hell, you don't have any right, and I will sue each and every one of you, and I will see each and every one of you in court. And God will be returning all of your karma, because God's told everybody for 2 years to stop, and your ancestors and your guides are sick of your hate. It's time for everybody to grow up, and everybody's been told there will be no reconciliations from anybody from the past ever, because it's vile. It's vile. Everybody has to grow up. I'm a teacher and I'm a healer of high vibrational informations and wisdoms. Everybody is being watched. So all your little names and all your little IP addresses and every single one of your comments, everything is being logged by the authorities. Going forward, I'm only going to be teaching in the highest collective and the leadership levels. Only my clients that have been with me forever are going to be the only clients that will be continuing with me. Only my loyal clients. So everybody can find new light workers to bully and to play with and to be nasty to. I'm a teacher and I'm a healer. I'm talking about my personal life experience on how difficult and challenging and vile that the attacks have been. I'm a human rights advocate and I'm a healer and I'm a great teacher and I'm a leader. And I'm not going to sit down. The corruption towards humanity, the corruption towards light workers, the corruption towards my personal life, I haven't received a penny or an apology from anybody that has been so vile in destroying my life. made me homeless for just about 3 years while everybody for the past 3 years has been doing what they've been doing on my money. Everybody's benefited off my wisdoms. Everybody's benefited off whatever I offer in content, hundreds of pages of content a week. Nobody has any rights. Nobody has any clearance. Nobody has any permissions. Nobody has any authority. Nobody knows more about the human psyche than I do. Nobody knows more about ascension than I do. I'm the only one that teaches what I teach. So why has everything in my life been suppressed and at zero? Why are there other people benefiting? Why are there any people in homes and getting all that they get, that tangible physical stuff? Why is that? These are my personal experiences, and I'm coming forward because there's millions that are going through the exact same thing. There's no more degrading of divine feminine. There's no more degrading of our free will. When we say no, we want a divorce, we should be able to get a divorce without being targeted and punished and sent on a wild goose chase just because the divine masculine wants to make them feel all powerful, like they have say over everybody else's life, and they want to be putting the divine feminine in her place. If divine feminine says no, it means no. Grow up and go get healed. Why would a divine feminine go through so much ascension work, devote her life to ascension work, devote her life to healing humanity, and then allow low vibrational, pornographic type of cult, like vile black magic energies in her experience, and to continue that cycle? There will be no cycles continued from the past. There won't be. And it doesn't matter if someone says, I don't do spell work anymore. It doesn't matter. The damage was so immense. Spirit said, you can't even count the number of violations that was done against me. These people will not be coming back in my life. There is no redo on any level. None of these people have authority to ever come back into my life. Ever. I will not offer an ounce to anybody. My videos are on my page and on my channel, and it's free to everybody. I'm only devoting my services to those that are serious about human healing and human advancements. Those that want to come and be crass and vile, you'll be slowly weeded out, and every one of your comments, every one of your IP addresses are being washed and stalked by higher authorities. Because I have my right to be who I am without being constantly punished and harassed and blocked and voodooed. So everything is going back. It's all being returned. It's all being returned. So good luck with the karma and all the hate that you've put out into my life and making my life completely miserable for the past 15 years. Divine Feminine I don't deserve any of this. I didn't deserve any of it. And God's going to be moving me up, and God's going to be placing me in front of people that truly want to be healed, that want to be activated with Source Creator, that want to reconnect with Source Creator, and not be constantly spun in a downward spiral of Epstein-like vileness. Because that's what it's been. It's been like Epstein, clone, mind-scraping bullshit. I have my rights. I should have had my divorce 4 years ago. I would never be with anybody that does spell work. I wouldn't be with anybody. I wouldn't want to sit around and talk about, oh, yeah, I did that death magic the other day. Boy, that's real great. That's very vile and low vibe. I just know that we're in a world of healing and oneness and unity. My God. I don't understand. It's just so vile. It's just the lowest vibration of humanity. Life is so precious. When you see people that suffer through disease and they suffer just to breathe, and then there's people that think they have entitlement to spell cast and bring horror to somebody's life just because they express a version of God that they are. I'm a unique version of God. Why can't I express my unique version of God? I'm gonna stand up. I'm a hybrid. I'm a crystalline being. I know exactly who I am. I love God on all levels and all ways, and I'm gonna have fun helping others create that unity with God. We're here to reconnect with God. I'm here to be the messenger of reconnection with God, of reconnection with Source. Has nothing to do with religion. Because we're multidimensional beings. We have the right to experience the blessings of who we are in all of our creative forms. To remember that we're Pleiadian, to remember that we're Syrian. We're so vast. That's all I've done. That's all my life has been about expression of God. And people have been so wounded, they've been so insecure, they've targeted me on every level because of their wounding. And I've taken it. I've taken every knock on the chin. And I've taken homelessness, and I've taken being away from my kids, and I've taken not having anything and working my way through it, because I know that that's a lesson of detachment. I understand the soul's lessons of everything. I understand it. I get the whole soul lessons thing. I don't need to learn anymore about how to be abused and how to get back up. The abuse train is over. So anybody from the past that is talking about me, anybody from the Calgary area that's talking about me, none of them know me. None of them talk to me. None of them are friends with me. None of them don't know anything about me. Nobody knows about me. I have a 4 group of friends, and they're with me right here and now, and they would never talk about me, because that's our vow with each other. We just don't. You respect one another. You just don't. It's just a normal honoring thing that you do. You just don't. But so I'm coming forward to say there's no reconciliation of anybody from the past. There never will be. God has spoken. The violations were very, very real. The violations were very, very damaging. The violations were very, very cruel. Anybody that is doing black magic, anybody that is doing root work or spell work or mind scraping bullshit programs that are underground Epstein-like bullshit, you are ruining your life, and every single one of you will be pulled out, and every single one of you are being watched. And when you're mentally imbalanced, you're not doing your soul fragment healing, you're not doing the ascension pathwork that I teach every day, and you do black magic and conjuring, absolutely better bet that your mental mind, your brain functioning is going into decreased down mode. And you will experience psychosis, and you need to get psychiatrically checked. Because how I've been treated is not okay. It's like psychopathically really wrong. To think that anybody sits around and plans out and does what they do and studies and writes journals about my actions and my behaviors to make sure that the spell work is working, that's psychologically very, very warped and wrong. You have to get checked, people. And this actually goes on. Government groups, targeting groups, and these underground sects, they've got the money and the resources and the people to make sure that paperwork gets signed. I mean, it's very, very vile, corrupt, and very wrong. There's going to be so much come out about it, about these tormenting fucking games, and why Spirit said very few make it. Very few make it out of what I made it out of. It's degrading. It's so degrading. I don't know how people live with themselves. I don't get it. But I wanted to come on today just to say that. I wanted to speak my truth, because things are closing out right now, and Spirit has told everybody, we keep talking about the same fucking thing. It's so benign and boring. There's no return from anybody from the past. God has given everybody 2 years to pay me back. Everybody's had their last stage to pay me back. Any monies that were stolen that have to be paid back have to go through my lawyer, J. Nelson at Spec Law. Has to be done with a letter of intent. It won't be received anyway. It won't be. There's going to be no getting together. There's going to be no meeting and having a hey, how's it going party while everybody turns their back and talks mean and nasty about me and then throws spells at me. I'm not that type of person. I'm not that type of person just to be okay with hate and vile, degrading, disgusting behavior. I'm not okay with that. If that's how you want to live, go live that way. I'm not going to be anywhere near you. I'm going to be on the other side of the world, get as far away from you as possible. That's not okay behavior. Anybody thinking that they sit around in groups and cults and talk about plans and plots and tactics, that's not normal. And you need to get aligned. You need to get checked. Things are shifting out. You're either on an Epstein-like world or you're going to be on New Earth. So, this is how real it's getting now. The political leaders, the agendas, the movement of all of these suppressive, degrading human experiences, there's 2 shifting out here. You're going to either be on the Epstein-like Earth, or you're going to be on an Earth of New Earth, where it's liberations, unifying of all of your soul fragments, and you're unifying into eternal life with your light body. That's kind of how it's going now. So you either continue to act vile and disgusting and degrading, and you continue to buy into the porn land, you continue to buy into the mind scraping land, you continue to forge hate at everybody, or you continue to heal yourself and choose to be 100% with source and heal what is going on in your shadow. Heal your wounding. Heal your wounding. Spell work and voodoo work and jar work and making somebody's life hell just because you want them on your story, that you need to go get checked. You need to go get healed. You need to go to a counselor. If somebody says they don't want to be in your life, they don't want to be in your life because you've hurt them, because you've taken too much, because you've harmed them, because you lie, because you're not being honest with yourself and you're not progressing. A million other reasons. Divine Feminine doesn't deserve to be violated every single day of her life just because she chooses to speak out and be real. I'm honest, I'm truthful, and I'm raw, and I will not hide myself. I'm a divine being, I carry great light, and I affect everything when I move. I honor myself, I honor my body, I honor who I am as my life force, and I'm not going to share it with anybody that's vile because they choose not to step up and be courageous in who they are. I will not share my energy. I'm not going to share my life force. I'm not going to share my time. I'm not going to share my energy with people that behave in that way. Go get healed. It's been very blatant. It's been very honest. I'm only taking on clients that are 100% truthful about healing. If you're not healing, stay off my channel. If you're not willing to be a part of New Earth and unity, stay off my channel. It's very easy. Ascension is not games. This is not a game. There's no more fence sitting. A lot of people stole from me. A lot of people benefit from me. I give nothing but 100% unconditional truth, wisdom, and light and codes and activations. I speak from the heavens. I speak from my spirit. I don't lie. I don't manipulate. I don't do spell work. I am here as a teacher, a healer, and a leader. I am the only Divine Feminine speaking about what I speak about at the level that I do. And I deserve to be paid everything that was stolen and taken from me. And nobody will earn anything. Nobody will receive anything if they use my ID, if they use and falsify anything about me and my life. Nobody has the right to talk about me because they don't know me. I am by myself 90% of the time. I don't phone people. I don't text people, except for the group of 4 or 5 that I deal with personally. And it's nobody from the past. It's nobody from Calgary. They're not my friends. They never have been. I've been 8 years pretty much estranged from everybody except with legal conversation. The only papers I have signed is for my legal divorce and my car loan. That's it. So there should be no signatures on my on anything. I've given no permissions about anything. People owe me a lot of money and I want that money back. Go through my lawyer. There's no meeting, there's no conversations, there's no doing things over again, there's no rewrites, there's no nothing. The abuse has been tormenting. The abuse has been so immense. It won't continue. There's no continuing. The cords are severed, timelines are shut down. So this is how serious it is now, because there's I'm onto a whole new different level. I'm onto a whole new different tribe. I want all new soulmates. I want all new tribe mates, and they're not going to be sent by anybody from a dumbass cult. Nobody's going to be sending me anybody, because you want to know why? Because there's spirit and your guides and my ancestors and everybody's all working together in the higher realms, and they're not going to allow it. Because I've been fucked with for 50 years. No more fucking with Joanna. Only pure hearts and pure souls are allowed past the gates. No more subtle, covert bullshit, sending people to go make research and sending people to go study me and sending people to go spy on me, sending people to get this information, sending people to get that information. You either go through the regular processes just like a normal human would. Hi, how are you doing? I've heard about your work. Can we talk? I'd like to talk about this, this, and this. I'll pay you for your time. Being respectful about time and energy. Being transparent and being honest. Sending people, recruiting, underground covert subtlety bullshit is not going to work. And I will say no on every level because I don't have to. I don't have to answer an email. I don't have to pick up the phone, and I won't. You will be blocked on every level Because Spirit sees everything. Spirit sees the moment that an ill intention is thought. Spirit sees a moment where an ill intention action is done. You have to do your healing. If someone's not in your life, it's because they're not meant to be there. It's because you're not ready. You're not healed. You're still in your wounding. No divine human, divine feminine being is going to be with somebody that all they want to do is take and steal and rape them. And never give them a penny back, and never give them their credit, never give them upliftment. They don't give anything back. No, you just want to sit and take and suck the fucking life out of somebody. How fun is that for a divine feminine? Oh, let me just go into another cycle of being raped and taken from. Let's do that again. Yeah, real fun. Can we say Narcissist 101? No, thank you. Grow up. Grow up and get healed, divine masculine. Because so far the world is in a really horrible state. And it's because of 3,000 years of distorted masculine energies, misogyny, warped religious bullshit that says a woman must be this and a woman, like, who the hell? No. Like, are we out of kindergarten yet? Like, even talking about it is just so vile. Oh my God. We have to evolve beyond barbarianism. And this has just been so brutal. So brutal. I'm coming forward to say I'm a divine feminine, I'm brilliant, and I'm intelligent. Nobody has the right to speak on my behalf, and they won't. My signature is my signature, my rights are my rights, and I'm going to stand up for every single person that didn't make it as far as I did. Because there was many that were killed on the way. Just because somebody wanted to practice a death wish, or a death spell, or a voodoo thing, or a jar, whatever the fuck you want to call it. It's bullshit. Nobody has the right to defile sacred, divine, human life. How much of all that has been taken and warped from me? Nobody gave a crap at how horrible it was for me. Not one person knows how much I suffered. And they're still thinking daily, how can they keep targeting me and keeping the same sick cycle going? Because I've stepped out and there's no more light there. And that's what you have to do with those that believe and behave in demonic devil ways. They focus on confusion, they focus on lies, they focus on deceit and manipulation, they focus on forcing energy, playing with energy, mental, emotional, spiritual mind games, reverse psychology, mental mind scraping. Watch my video I did back 2 years ago when I first brought up, Spirit told me it was called mental mind scraping, where they deconstruct you systematically to break down your own sense of self. They break down your mental patterning. They get deep into the subconscious of what is moral and immoral. And they make human bullies, and they make human targeting weapon people. They take and they remold these people that used to be so somewhat connected and human, and they try to disconnect that spirit human experience. And I was one of the ones, thank God, because of my connection with God, that I made it through. Like, who the hell is anybody to do any of this? Like because I see into other realms. I see what goes on. When somebody makes a choice to hurt somebody, I see the damage that goes into that soul. And there's people, there's officials, there's groups, there's a lot of money and a lot of so-called titles. And they're collecting and they're gathering and they're organized in ways to hurt people. That's their intention. Why? Because they don't want to face who they are, because somebody else is calling out a truth that's so profound it can't be ignored. Source is showing everybody that there is source creator, there is God, and it's in every one of us. I wouldn't have survived what I did if God wasn't within every breath that I am. And why I devote every breath that I am with source. And why I don't go out and party, and why I don't go out and sleep with people. I never have. I've had the regular journey that every teenager has. But in my adult years, for 15 years, I've been devoted to spirit. I don't lie. I don't play games with people's emotions. I don't play games with people's lives. I speak truth. There are false prophets out there, especially in Calgary. There is a false prophet that imprints wounds onto people's energy, and they get those people to come back to them because they've broken into a vulnerability. And these people are being guided by false prophets. that are imprinting wrong experiences. One person had come to me and one person had said, I had another person that told me this. And I said, no. I said, I told the client, I said, I'm saying what I'm saying to you. I would be very cautious about any person that you're giving power to agree that that's your story. Because this false prophet was just building a false experience for this person to continually give to that false prophet, for that false prophet to keep being brought back to and being paid for. Thank you, Spirit. This false prophet was giving the clients false stories. They were imprinting wounds on the client. How could anybody that is, when you're aligned with Spirit, there's there's this, when you are aligned with Spirit, your soul everywhere within you knows, and there is something that happens inside of you when you have crossed a spiritual boundary. That's where I've said for years and years and years, when you are aligned with your higher self, you will talk with your guides and say, what is my part in this transaction? And your teams will test you on everything. Your teams will test you on visual, audible, any way that you're a psychic, your teams will test you on. Your teams will test you on groups of people, individuals. Your teams will test you on people you know, people you don't know. You have to go through these mastery tests. My gifts are so high right now, there's things coming in my field and I have to say, shut it down, shut it down, shut it down, because I don't want to see into those experiences. Because I don't have that, because I need some peace. I don't need to see somebody's sex life last night. There's so much that I'm able to see, and I don't have to. Just because you can remote view doesn't mean you can. Just because you can do a spell doesn't mean you should be doing it on those you have a hate on with. Heal your wound. Stop being hateful. There's no need for spell work other than healing. Spell work should be only used for healing. That's what it was meant to be used for, in the natural, organic, natural law of balance. If you're doing anything of any kind to another person, your inner realm, your inner experience has a shakedown. And your spirit guides are saying, we're asking you not to do this because you will receive karma. You will receive so much karma. And then you have those people that actually go through with it and they hurt people. Like what mentality do you have to do a death spell on somebody? Like, you have to think about that. Think about it clearly. Think about it clearly. You're going to get groceries and you pick up, mayonnaise, you pick up a bag of bread. Oh no, we're going to go home and do a death spell. That's where the disconnection, and anybody that's in a Masonic ritualistic group, it's across all of our genres, education, entertainment, politics. We have to be very, 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 very discerning. There is no going back and forth on this. I see what happens to a soul when a rape happens. I see what happens to a soul when somebody is abused. I see what happens to a soul when somebody gets thrown down to the ground and beat. You have to, you guys, humanity, I pray for you. This is one of the few lifetimes that we have left to align to a light frequency in our bodies, to ascend in our bodies. Those that continue to disconnect and detach from compassion and love and oneness, there's not going to be a lot of chances left for you to have a human body and ascend. There just won't. We have an enormous, profound, dynamic opportunity to ascend in our bodies, to be our own master, to be our own sovereignty, to be our own voice, to be our own healer, to be our own advocate, to be our own justice. That is the blessing and the grace that God gives each and every one of us. And it has nothing to do with religion. We're beyond that. So why would anybody wake up and want harm for another? And what will be coming forward in the human collective over the next 6 months is the underground, vile, secret groups and sects that have been warped to the point that they are in such a lack of self, they're in such a threatening space of who they are, that they seek to attack others. And I see the damage that it does to the soul when one vile act against another is done. I've lived it. I heal it for the collective. I transmute those beaten energies. That's what an empath, that's what a conduit does. We transmute the negativity. You don't just walk on as if nothing's happened when you harm somebody. That's not, you don't just get to wake up one day and say, okay, that's like, my karma's all done. I said something nice today. When you hurt somebody, you have to go within on a multidimensional level, and I don't understand. When you pass into spirit, you will be shown the damage of the raping of one person. Why I teach what I teach is so important. Reclaiming your power every day and calling in your light. Reclaiming your power every day and reclaiming your voice. Nobody has say over you. Nobody can tell you what to do. Nobody can tell you who you are. You create that with Source. Your light, your pillar of light that runs along your spine is everything for your chakras. Don't let anybody mess with that. When somebody is in your field that feels uncomfortable, just send them light and navigate around them. Your protection is standing in your light. That's your highest protection. If you're treating people with kindness and respect and you're doing the greater good, the divine order is a prayer you can use for light and love to be sent to everybody in equal measure. That's divine order. That's what divine order means. I teach divine order because there is no 3D group, there is no 3D ranking, there is no 3D religion, there is no 3D anything that understands divine order. That's what I teach. Because you have to be aligned and clicked in with your higher self to get that. You get that when you send hateful things out to somebody, that it absolutely affects your soul. Let alone raping somebody or molesting somebody or taking their monies when it's not theirs to take. Or, pulling every dollar that person has ever earned or worked for so devotedly and leaving them homeless without food. You have to understand, dear lighted ones. The heavens just roll over and they can't understand the treatment. And it comes down to connection and relationship. If you're doing anything vile to hurt somebody because you're so hurt, before you act out, take 5 full body breaths. Ground into the earth and ground into the grids, and ground your breath and ground until you become peaceful, until you become centered. You call all of your energy in, call all of your thoughts in, call all of your soul fragments in, and you ask Spirit to bring you into a centered state of peace. What is my part in this transaction and what should I do next? And then wait and listen and heed. Every day I get on my social platform and I post tips and wisdoms and energies to remain in your center, to speak from your center, to be in your center. Because if you don't have a good sense of self and you don't know who you are, what do you exist within, what exists within you, everything is going to be scattered. And then you're going out into other people's energies and spaces where they're scattered and all they do is gossip and hate. Your energy is compiling with their messy, chaotic energy. And then if they're in a secret sect or a group where all they do is impale and magic and you've got entities and entity attachment and spell work and conjuring, layers and layers of mess that have to be cleared. Your body can only take so much. Your tissues can only take so much. Your brain functioning can only take so much. Look up on any research you want to do on the effects of the water body, whether it's water crystals, whether it's water or plant life, any organic matter experience of negativity and hate. Look it up, do your research. Our bodies are 97% water. What passes in and out of our tissues, what passes in and out of our blood, what passes in and out of our brain, the brain functioning in and of itself is water and light. Look up the effects of negativity and conjuring and your own attitude on yourself and your body. If you are not connected, if you have no relationship with who you are as light, with who you are as love, your body is only doing what it can. And your body will become those spells. Your body will become those conjuring. Your body will become those voodoos. Your body will become the jar work. When you think you're doing jar work on somebody else, you're doing the jar work on yourself. Look up the research. Do the research. Do the research, people. You are a divine being and you are birthed and breathed by God. You have matter, your tissues, your cells, everything is godly. Your DNA is godly. Your DNA is made up of every dimension in this one universe. You have access to all universes if you so wish. The more fluid with light you are, the more fluid of understanding you are as a divine being beyond all religions, beyond all beliefs, beyond all 3D low vibrational groups that you think you want to join because you think you want their buy-in. Why would you want a 3D buy-in when you can have the multiverse that is loving and caring and always gifting you with light and codes and beingness? We have to be more than this, dear lighted ones. Look up the effects of water through negative intention and negative thought work. Look it up. Go look at the damage of what happens to a water molecule. That is what happens to your cells. Every thought that you think negatively, every thought that you send hate out, that is what's happening to your brain. That energy, that intention has to go somewhere. It's an actual, this is where we've been teaching from day one. Multidimensionality is everything. If you don't get that connection, if you don't get that relationship, it's going to be hard for you to get through 5D. Every thought, every word, every deed affects your multidimensional bodies. It affects your tissues. It affects your cells. And the more aligned with the Christ, the Metatronic light, the more you are aligned with your breath and that essence of vibration, you know that you're breathing with source when you feel the buzz and the vibration in your body. That is source, that's spirit. When you feel the buzz and the vibration as you're just sitting in silence on any one of your appendages, those are your chakras and that spirit energy working through you. Hold your hands open right now and just face them up, because the up is the receiving. I state with intention to turn on my light body, Holy Spirit. Please turn on my light body, Holy Spirit. Thank you, Holy Spirit. My higher self, my mind, my heart, my spirit, and soul. Turn on my light body, Holy Spirit. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Just with that pure intention to turn on all that you are, you feel the vibrations of your chakras in your fingers and in your hands. Do you feel the vibrations in your fingers and in your hands? Say yes or no. Do you feel yourself as spirit, yes or no? Do you feel a vibrational sensation in your chakras and in your crown chakra? Do you feel the bottoms of your feet tingling? I turn on the vibrations of the Holy Spirit in my body, yes or no? I feel the Holy Spirit in my body, yes or no? Do you feel the Holy Spirit in your body, yes or no? Do you feel your hands tingling, yes or no? Do you feel spirit in your field, yes or no? Your fingers are tingling, your feet are tingling, your aura is all around. I can feel my chakras spin. That's being in relationship with your body. When you're in relationship with your body, you can start youthing. You can start aging backwards. When you're in relationship with your body, when you're in relationship with all that is, you can't imagine why people just don't love each other. When you're in relationship with all of creation and see how beautiful God blesses you, you can't understand why people just have so much hate. Why? It's so beautiful being loved. Why would you want to steal from anybody? There's so much just by breathing. When you breathe in abundance, you'll always be abundant. Why? Because your entire 8-foot field of light and energy in Christ is just vibrating. I'm so abundant. And that's why everybody that's moving through Ascension, you will have times where you'll have nothing. And you have to learn from that. Because you have to know that no matter what the physical might seem, God will give you everything and God will survive. All of your breath, all of what you thought you needed, God wants you to go farther and bigger. Because God wants you to go beyond the religions. God wants you to go beyond the texts. God wants you to go beyond the bricks and the mortar. Why? Because you're so much more. You're born a multiverse cosmic being. Your DNA is being activated right now. Because your soul wants you to be more. Your soul wants you to tap into the gifts you've never had. Your soul wants you to tap into that essence of you that says, no, I'm not going to be abused again. Because I just healed something so profound that no other child will be abused because I'm healing it. I know that from my lineage, no other divine feminine will be abused. I've healed it. When I say no, it means no. I've healed it. My voice matters. I've healed it. I know that I'll be fed just by breathing with God because I've healed it. I know that when my body and my skin shake because Spirit's activating my chakras and Spirit's reminding me that, yes, I'm heavenly. You see, you don't need a secret group. Just breathe and ask Spirit to remind you of your light body, to remind you of your Merkaba, to remind you of all that you are as heavenly, to remind you all that you are as a Pleiadian, a Sirian, Arcturian, that you have so many gifts and you have so much talent and you have so much intelligence that is so divine, that it's unexplainable. You're going to come up with knowing something one day and somebody's going to say, how did you know that? Say, I don't know, I just had something activated yesterday. I don't know, I'm looking into something I never knew before. And you just start wanting to gather information about the biokinesis field. There's so much for us to be abundant in. You don't need to ever interfere with anybody else's life, ever. And these are the majesties I've taught from day one. Physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, sexually, etherically, cosmically, all that you are as a vibrational being of the multiverse. You are a multiverse being. Break beyond the matrix. You have intelligence of all cosmos, of all universes held within you. You have aspects of the heavens within you. You have aspects of ancient worlds within you. You are beyond the religions that you thought you knew. You are all things. All things means that you are spirit, that you are essence, that you are breath, that you are harmonics, you are color, you are the vibration of all that is spirit. When you breathe, you feed your body with spirit. And when you do it with intention of love and youthing and bringing love to your cells and health to your cells and magnificence to your cells, you're releasing that which was dark. And this is why we've said, in this accelerated light, in this accelerated energy, anybody that is doing negative spell work, you are compounding any illness or disease that you have in your body, and you are absolutely blocking any healing that can be done, ever. As I said, black magic and voodoo and all of those rituals of hate and darkness will ruin your life. It will ruin your health. It will ruin your body. It will ruin your brain functioning. Look at the effects of water and negativity, damage of dementia. Go look at visualizations, go do the studying. I want you to looks like that is degraded and devalued from being shut down small, it goes black, and it does not work. It does not live because you've told it, you've intended it. Where do you think that energy and those conjurings and those spells are going to go? It's your body. Your body is everything that your voice says. And it's more than just an affirmation, because I just showed you. When you're feeling the vibration of spirit, you are intending it of thyself. So why would you ever want to waste your time putting spells and anger and hate out to what you think is going to be attacking somebody else? It is you. It's got nowhere. That spell doesn't know that it's for somebody else. No, it's you. You're conjuring hate into your own brain. And go look at pictures on what a deranged, demented brain looks like. Go look it up. Look up the effects on negativity to the water body. We have a water body where the Christ lives. the Christ consciousness. It's the consciousness of knowing that you are all life. You can connect with here, and in a second, you're already in the Pleiades. That's consciousness. It's immediate. I can get to the Pleiades through that thought pattern. That's the Christ consciousness. Has nothing to do with religion. It's how light travels. How light travels is what? It's through the freaking water body. It's through who we are as light. It's through we are as the Metatronic systems. And because we're matter, it's through water. And why there's been so many corruptions in the water. We are going to be becoming aware of that. We are going to heal that. How you talk to yourself every day affects your water body, affects the water in the oceans. And why there is agendas that try and fuck up the oceans. I don't understand any of this. There's agendas for messing up with the water. But these people are just doing agendas to mess up their own lives. I don't get it. I don't get any of it. It's like if Epstein was alive, I would sit down and I would talk to Epstein. You know that everything you're doing is just your corruption of yourself. These people are just so deranged. They have so much outer, they're so wounded within themselves that everything that they are is the projection of trying to warp everything outside of them, because that's everything that they are within themselves. It is such a psychosis that is beyond our understanding at this point, because there's been so much interference, and that is the corruption. Interference is corruption, whether it be political, religious, schools, in your families, and people judging people grading people. All of that is interference on the natural flow of spirit. What I teach is about the natural flow of spirit, is about the natural essence of Source Creator. Source Creator gives me a destiny and I flow with it. And there's been everybody in their asshole trying to interfere with my life. They have no right. And that has impeded and that has affected my life on every level. Interference is corruption. It's not necessary. If you just let go and allow the natural forces of all that you are as light, it's a very practical, very simple, because God's simple. God doesn't want people to be confused. It's very, very simple. The devil wants you confused. That's when the devil starts fucking with your mind and trying to make you deconstruct yourself so you don't know who you are, and then you start doing immoral things. No, you're doing immoral things because you were wounded. You went into a group because you were vulnerable, and now you got yourself all messed up because there's a whole bunch of blackmail and entrapment going on because you can't get yourself out of the mess you got yourself into. Okay, well, start healing it. And then start reclaiming your voice back, start being that whistleblower, and start coming forward, because once you acknowledge something and once you bring truth to something, it can no longer stand in your way. And that's what people know about what God has placed before them in me. I'm walking karma for a lot of people because I will not stand by and think that anything that has occurred has been okay, to think that anything Epstein-like is okay, to think that $1 billion pornography business is okay. How can that be okay? How can you go to bed at night knowing that there's $1 billion underground business where children are being trafficked, children are held in tunnels, children are held in walls? How is that okay? There's so much karma. And these people that are in such programs, they will never see a light timeline, ever. And this is where I don't understand how that can be okay. I mean, it's all creation. Everything is valid. It's all source. And I'm learning to accept that. I don't understand how hurting somebody and doing those vile things, children in walls and children in tunnels and children in basements and people in cages, I don't understand how that is okay. That's because I'm a hybrid being and I come from places where it's unconditional love and nobody would ever hurt anybody. Why would you hurt somebody? Why would you spend 8 years of your life being focused on relentlessly, cruelly attacking somebody with voodoo and jar work? Why would you do that? Because you were hurt, they wanted to leave you? Because you were lying and being manipulative? Well, maybe stop lying and being manipulative. Maybe people will stick around. Can you look at yourself? Can you actually go within, go to a counselor, and be truthful and honest? If you really want to heal, you have to be truthful. You cannot heal if you're lying and wanting yourself to look good in front of a counselor while giving the counselor lies. You will never heal. You're wasting your time. You're wasting the counselor's time. That's why I won't take on any clients that are vile and ignorant and deceitful. Go waste another person's time. You're not coming on my platform. You'll be blocked. You will not come to me ever as a client. Waste somebody else's time. Deceit is wasting of time. You're putting darkness in your cells. You're putting darkness in the brain. Stop wasting your time. Wake up and get healed. Do research. Go look it up. What does negativity do to the aura? What does negativity do to your cells? What does negativity do to your tissues? What does negativity do to the mind thought of who you are? Synaptic. What are synaptic pathways? Go look it up. Do the research on who you are as a being. And then you start thinking about how can light affect me? How does darkness affect me? It's not rocket science, dear people. You are a multidimensional being, and how you interact with light or not light. Everything is God, everything is source. It's either negative, neutral, or positive, and you get to choose how you want to operate through life. You forcing people to be with you is a negative experience. That means you're going to have a negative reaction. You're going to have a negative experience inside your body. It doesn't matter how you think, you're going to conjure it out. Because especially now that there's all the legions that are lining up, because people need to go in their positions for this next phase. And nobody's going to stop anybody, because nobody plays God. As much as they might think they are in their 3D robe, sitting in their secret little basement. And I ask you once again, if you're having to hide things and say that you have a secret cult and these secret initiations and these secret, how intelligent is that? How intelligent is it to be a part of a secret society? How intelligent is that? Understand this, dear lighted ones. Everything that you do with intention is absolutely the life you're building. Everything. Your mind will be held secret. Your body will be held secret. Your monies will be held secret. Everything will be held secret. Because you don't think that it's safe enough to come out and be who you are, so you got to be secret. And then people say, well, we've got to be secret because we do, we do kind of things in our own way, and sometimes we hurt people, and sometimes we do rituals because we want to be powerful. Okay, so then, well, you might want to think about why you're doing that then. What is Ascension, dear lighted ones? Go back to the human body. Go back to the chakras. You're moving through a physical reality in a physical, quasi-physical body the more that you are in light. If you are choosing to be in any way secretive, you are telling the universe that there are aspects of you that are not worthy to be fully in your truth because you don't know your truth. If you have to be secret, then you don't know who you are. If you have to be secret, you are blocking, you are closing down, you are slowing down, you are stopping the rotation of your chakras, because the chakras will not rotate on deceit. Your chakras rotate in light and truth and clarity, precision, knowingness, surety, attendance to who you are, relationship to who you are, connection with who you are. If you are in secret, you are not connected with who you are, because you're following other people that also want to be secret, because they want to hide, they want to be shady, they want to be sneaky, they want to lie. So, okay, if that's your religion, where is that going to end you? Do out the infinity, put a negative on one side, a neutral in the middle, and a positive on the other. Draw it out. I want you to draw it out. Show yourself what you are doing in life, and wake up for yourself. Don't trust anybody outside of you that says a spell is going to give you power. A spell is going to give your old girlfriend back. A spell ain't going to give your old girlfriend back because you haven't healed the wound, asshole. Draw it out. If you have a wound of lack, of no sense of self, of being rejected, of abandonment, of envy, of greed, of gluttony, draw it out. When you act in negative, toxic, vile ways, that is the response that you will get. The only reason why it worked before and nobody cared before is because it was in 3D, low vibrational darkness, if you will, and density, if you will, is because there was so much corruption. It was so dark that it never got seen. Now it's being seen every day, because truth is truth. You can't walk around truth. No, truth is truth. I'm going to call it. Perhaps you just stop doing vile, secret things. Then you won't get called about it, and then you won't feel all embarrassed about your reputation. Well, if you were hiding most of your life in secret, you have no reputation, because it's not truth. The reputation you have is false. It's all fake. Because your real self is hidden underground. Your real self is doing vile things behind the doors, and then throwing rocks and stones, and then to somebody's face you think you're all nice and kind, and then behind their back you're talking really bad about them and hating them, and throwing spell work at them and voodoo at them and hoping they disappear and go away. Okay, so you're absolutely zero sense of self. You just want to keep being vile and lying and deceiving and making sure people disappear. So until what? You're the only person left on earth? And then what? You're going to stand very lonely in secret all by yourself. Okay. Draw it out. How's that working for you? So you're going to get to the wound. You were wounded and you were rejected. So go to that wound, feel that wound out and feel it. Cry about it. Say, I was wounded. I felt rejected. I felt this. I felt that. Talk about the feelings and feel it. Feel what you have to feel. Feel it. Start writing it. Journal it. I felt this. I'm speaking about this. This is how I felt. I'm truthful. I teach people how to be truthful. Why? Because it heals. When I see people die, when I see people get hurt, when I see people get raped, when I see the planet being harmed, when I see animals being harmed, I talk about it. I don't understand this level of hate. I don't understand this level of disconnection. I don't get it. I get the wounding because I'm smart and I'm a psyche expert. I get that. I get that. I don't get why people keep doing it. You could go in and you can heal. You could go in, draw out the infinity. I've taught you how to do this. Do you not care? Do you not care about the darkness that your soul carries with you? It's going to stay there until you heal it, until you feel what you have to feel. You have to feel those wounds. You will not heal it any other way. There is no amount of spell work that will take that wound away. You have to heal that wound. You have to heal that wound. If you're not going to heal the wound, that's where you're going to sit. You're going to sit in wounding. I teach you how to feel what you got to feel. You have to feel the wound where you were rejected. You have to feel the wound where somebody made you feel a certain way. And then you have to say, okay, well, now from now on, I don't have to take on that. They can say whatever they want to say. I'm just going to keep feeling good, which is where the point I'm at now. I can see things from a higher perspective. I say, I still don't get it. I can help you learn if you want, but there's going to be a lot of people that will just make their way out. Because there is so much disconnection, there's so much psychosis break. They're not purity of intent and they just don't care. And that's hard to swallow. It really is. It's being so compassionate and being such, I care about everybody. And it's hard to watch people just be so ugly. It's like there's got to be so much pain and disconnection. How do you fill your world? My goodness, can you just stop and take about 20 deep breaths and start reconnecting with spirit? What's your relationship with spirit? What's your relationship with your body? What's your relationship with life? What's your relationship with the trees? What's your relationship with the oceans and the waters? This is going to be everything that matters over the next 6 months. Everybody gets to choose what earth you're going to be on. You're either going to be on an Epstein-like earth, and those earths will be shifting out. If that's where you want your soul to be, on an Epstein-like earth, where you are herded and you are numbed and dumbed and you're put into programs and you're doing in these underground sects and you want to do spell work and voodoo and you want to keep the projection of hate. If that's the earth you want to be on, then you're telling creation because you're choosing no other action. You're choosing no other belief. You're choosing no other behavior. You can't expect to be on a new earth when all you do is act in degradation. Right? It's insanity. You can't expect the positive part of the infinity if you're not doing anything but negativity and hate. You have to take accountability. And there's some people that are not ready to see and face who they are. But I'm here to say, I don't have to be around any of these people. They're not going to be making their way back into my life. Everybody knows what they owe me. Everybody knows what they stole from me. I'm stating in my own voice. I haven't signed anything but divorce papers in my car. I haven't signed anything to give anybody permission on any level of my medical, physical, any otherwise, because I'm 10 times smarter than anybody that would ever sign those papers to begin with. I would never give my signature over to anybody. Why? Well, because I teach about human rights and advocacy of using your own voice and being sovereign, about reclaiming your power. That was my whole journey. Why would I give anybody power over anything in my life when my whole journey has been about to reclaim the power of divine feminine? I speak it on a daily basis. I write about it on a daily basis. The Adam Eve Antine Project, that is my project. Everybody in humanity is working on it, but I'm the only one that's spoken about it. I was the first one to talk about it because it was one of my downloads God gave me. That's why God will only give me and certain people certain things, because it's only talked about through me. So nobody can say that they're that it's theirs and no. God only gave that to me. That's why God knows. God knows and tests everybody. Are you going to be truthful and stand in who you are? Are you going to stand in what your books are about? Are you going to stand in your products? Are you going to stand in your illustrations? I can talk about anything I've created. Anybody that has my work that tries to talk about it, they can't and they won't. And they'll be failure. Because it's not your vibration. It's not your destiny. Your destiny is something totally different and more beautiful. So go be you. I'm showing how to be me. Don't be me, be you. But I'm absolutely going to stand up and say, no, I want to now be fucking paid for being me. Why wouldn't I? I'm a beautiful, sacred person. I'm from many planets, many universes. I want to be paid my fucking rights. And I wouldn't give my signature to anybody that's lesser of me. Why would I do that? They're all psychotically broken and they're damaged. They're still in wounding. Why would I give anybody any authority over me? I'm aligned with God. Are you kidding me? I've activated more of my DNA than most people on the planet. Why would I give anybody authority over me? No, I know my fucking rights. I'll see y'all in court. So these Epstein-like programs and these Epstein-like agendas, they'll all be seen in the next 6 months. And that's exactly what I went through. I survived. So if I can survive, you can survive. Every day, get up and do your journaling. Every day, get up and do your intention work. Every day, get up and know that your body counts. Your body matters. Your body is divine. Your body is sacred. Your mind is sacred. Connect with spirit. Have a relationship with spirit. Because spirit's everything. That's why spirit has given me the grace of what spirit has given me. And when I say spirit, let's go make that, let's go change that, let's go bring judgment to that, because they've been hurting people over and over and over again. And the legions will be in the room invisibly, making stuff happen and make things go away, make things disappear, make things appear. When evidence has to appear, the evidence will freaking appear. Because there's legions of invisibility energies and beings and spirits working on it. The legions can go invisible, the legions can take on form. No 3D title can do that. My compass is the heavens. My compass are the legions. My compass is God. My compass is my higher self. My compass is my heart. I don't ever surrender to a 3D person. And that's nothing to say, but most people are just they're so not even close to being healed. And that's why, again, I've been celibate for 15 years. Because most people are distorted, most people are wounded, most people are unhealed, most people have no idea who they are. Unless they've been my clients since KCOR. And some of you are. And there's no judgment on where you are in your path. I'm stating in blatant, practical truth. Why would anybody have any say on my life when I am the only one of the very few divine feminine on the planet that is aligned? Right? As I said, God is very simple. We placed a highly evolved divine feminine in front of all of the collective, and I have been nothing but suppressed and beaten up. Vibrationally, mentally, and emotionally, and spiritually. I'm one of the highest aligned divine feminine. And I can speak on most topics just by God downloading it. I'm here to enhance and help humanity. Why would anybody, any court, any person, anybody that doesn't know anything, and this is where this is going to change down the road. Everybody has rights, and this is where your deathbed confession, inheritances, monies, wills, anything to do about your life is your property, your ownership. You're in management of you. That's what sovereignty teaches you. Sovereignty teaches you to be the Christ sovereign of yourself, of your life. Thus, then, therefore, when anybody asks you anything and there's any deviance outside of your persona, no, there is no other signatures anywhere, because I am who I am. I can talk anybody around a table simply because I'm purely aligned. Has nothing to do with anybody else. I'm purely aligned. My number one rule is don't surrender to anything lesser. No. So why would anybody have a signature of mine? You see it, the code of ethics? I'm very pure about that. That's why I don't sleep around. That's why my body is not shared. No, I have a code of ethics. I won't take on certain clients. I have a code of ethics. I won't go out with people that have harmed and hated me and raped me. I won't make that a second option. No, the door is forever closed. There is a permanent cutoff. There's no reopening. If you have stolen, taken, raped from me, if you've lied to my face over 100,000 times, even if you've done it 10 times or 2 times, no. Therefore, thus, then, again, anybody that speaks of me from the area of Calgary, anybody that puts my name in their mouth, they will be receiving karma because they don't know me. My circle is very small. I am very precise about my life. Therefore, thus, then, why would anybody have given any rights on my life at all? They wouldn't have. It's all fraud and it's all false. That's how I know who I am. That's how I know what's been going on. Because it's fake as fuck. Epstein-like programs can be seen a mile away before it's even hit you. I have documents that can prove what I spoke about 6 years ago and 5 years ago to the people that are rolling out their karma right now. I have emails that said this is what's going to happen if you keep doing what you're doing. I have dates. I have those emails. I predicted exactly what's happening right now. And all God asked of everybody to be their own soul test. Can you be of your own soul's righteousness? Can you give back what's meant to be given? Can you be truthful and speak your truth? Can you be truthful and level up in your soul's development? Or are you going to keep being deceitful? Are you going to keep being manipulative? Are you going to keep being power over others? Everybody has their tests, and God tested everybody. God tests everybody when they come in and make comments in the chat room. God is watching everybody. Hello from Iran. Be the leaders of your land and be peaceful and unified. Travel yourself beyond religion. Travel yourself beyond the beliefs that your family talked about because they were in discrimination and wounding. You're meant to be higher vibrational than your parents. You're meant to be higher vibrational than the churches. You're meant to be higher vibrational than what you were taught in schools. You are meant to be higher vibrational. Let go of what you were taught and told you're divine. There are shifting outs. If you are of the intention of unity and peace and love for all peoples, we are a family of one. And when you pass into 5 dimension, when you pass into the 5D, even if you choose not to make it to 5D, and when you pass over into spirit, your spirit guides, the first thing that they will show you is that every person on this planet is a unified brother and sister. And this is why it pains me so much for anybody in the Middle East when you see the damages and the pain that they do to each other because of a border that they exist within. Because as soon as they pass over, they have to carry that karma of everybody that was hurt because of dysfunctionality, because of misunderstandings, because of things that they just don't understand in low vibrational 3D. But you have to raise your vibration to know that you are a family of one. You're a family of one. You are a family of one. The people down the road are your family. They might have different skin color. They might have different beliefs. They are one. There's no need to do anything to interfere with anybody. Go within. Before you reach out, go within. Before you do anything outer, go within. As above, so below, as within, and so without. It has to be more mindfulness. We have to take greater pause and greater knowing and greater ambassadorialship. Every time you speak out to what's going on in your community, you help clear the way. You help keep resolve of a higher order. Divine order, remember, divine order is a prayer that you can use so that the greater good is matched equally with God's blessing. However, God, source creator, deserves and sees the energy moving anywhere because God knows exactly what each person is going through. What person is ready for a blessing? What person is ready to be, held back because they need to work on a patience energy, or they need to work on a virtue a little bit more. They need to do some self-love healing. Everybody on the planet needs to do self-love healing because we weren't taught the right ways. We weren't taught the right connection and relationship with who we are. We weren't taught the right connection with our planet or the right connection with the person in the house and next to us. So connection and relationship is everything. So whenever you feel scattered, whenever you feel like you don't know what to do, go back within and focus on connection and relationship. It's everything. When God sees that for one day you have made it your intention to connect and to be in relationship with you, that higher version of you that knows the answers. You don't need to go outside of you for anything. The higher version of you knows the answers. The higher version of you knows that 3 jobs from now is going to be the best job that you've ever had, and it'll be the blessing of your life. Or that the person walking around the corner when you're out going for a walk with your dog is going to be that person you're going to spend your life with. Your higher self knows everything. You don't need a religion to dictate to you. You don't need the bricks and mortar to say there's a place to go and give money to pray to. Every moment is a prayer. Are you connected? I know who I am and I know what I feel. That's why God's placed me in the position that I am, and I'm going to be a great leader because I'm already one. I know my story and I don't waver. I choose to only have those people in my life that are peaceful and loving and caring. They won't enter my field to be a friend and a partner if they're not healed and they're in chaotic space. There's just a complete and utter vibrational mismatch. It's not going to happen. I'm 100% truthful. There's nobody going to come in my space when they're living in deceit and harm and malice. It's just a vibrational mismatch. Spirit will not allow it. I won't allow it. There's always a higher truth, and your religions don't know it. So be okay with that. Say, yeah, it served me, but I want something higher now. When you get to 5D, it's just going to be all love. Say, yeah, I get how you pray. That's cool. The insectoids know source differently than the Pleiadians do. There's many, many species of Pleiadians, infinite species of Pleiadians. They come in form and they come in consciousness of light. They come in sound and song and harmonic. They come in insects and species, and they come in unicorns, and they come in bird people. The Pleiadians have such a diverse species on their planet. And we are so lucky to be the next in line for ascension at a planetary level. And we have so much wisdoms within our DNA. I want to empower, inspire, and encourage people to go within and be these multiverse beings of excellence. Why spend an ounce of time on anything otherwise? I get it that you're going through a navigation of being 3D, but you're not meant to stay there for most of your life. You're meant to break the bondage. Nobody has any say over you. Nobody has direction on you. Nobody has any amount of power over you ever. Reclaim that power. Cut all vows, cut all ties, cut all promises. Any community, sect, or group that has you in loyalty of a silence vow, I would break that right away. You're suppressing your soul, you're suppressing your spirit. Nobody deserves that level of loyalty. They will not have it for you. Especially if you're in a demonic, Masonic, underground, warped, disconnected. There's everything is in life is connection and relationship, period. It can either be a negative, it can be a neutral, or it can be a positive. You get to choose what part of an influence you're going to be. I'm an influencer because I see the whole realms of everything and how it manifests into an outcome. I'm a seer, I'm a teacher, I'm a healer, I'm an activist, I'm an influencer because I am the Christ. My Christ energy influences everything outside of me. I get that. I can tell the stories around it, in and above and around. That's what the interfacing allows me to do. I can see things coming. I can predict things. It's all based on creational equations. Once you get that, then you can start drawing it out and saying, okay, I have this group over here. I go to school here. I do this over here. Do an infinity on each one of those things. That's called doing your homework. Sit down and do your ascension path work right now. Do an infinity and do little blocks and pods and start marking out all of those pods that you want to start refining because you want to be on the new earth or not. If you don't want to do the homework, then you'll be on whatever earth that non-intention is. Everything is an outcome. You can't expect to be on new earth and be blessed with all these great things like a narcissist thinks they can while they're doing devil-ass shit. No, you're going to be on the earth with devil-ass shit. Keep learning your soul lessons. I'm out. Bye. What the hell? Like it's insanity. You have to heal your narcissism. It's insanity to think that you're going to get anything other than the hate work and the spell work and the voodoo you've been doing, trying to steal and take from people and suppress people into your story. No, I don't want to be a part of your story. Your story sucks. Go find somebody else to fool. So do that on every one of the things that you're finding challenge on making decisions with, whether it's a changing in your vocation, a changing in your school. Do the infinity and put your pods above it. And then draw the negative, the neutral, and the positive on any action that you take, whether it's a spell, whether it's going out on a date, whether it's doing yoga, whether it's taking a new course, whether it's, doing a silence vow for a secret Masonic cult, whether it's taking money to go do a hate spell on somebody. Draw it out. I want you to draw it out, because you're showing yourself that you can also predict your reality. And anybody telling you anything otherwise, to say that, oh, they're going to give you money for a hate spell, it's going to give you power and you're going to get their soul power, they're lying their asses off. They don't know what they're talking about. They will create a self-implosion for you. But you're choosing it. So you can't blame anybody else. You chose it. You chose to be involved with corrupt people that don't know anything about creational reality. They don't know higher vibrational wisdoms. They don't know anything about the spiritual courts that are all coming down hard on everybody. There is no in between. There's no fence sitting. So you choose your earth. You choose it. I've already chosen. I chose 8 years ago when I decided to get divorced. And everybody has fucked with me ever since. To try and bully and intimidate you back into false, dumbass stories. No. I've kind of evolved past dumbass. I'm just teaching everybody to get out of my way, because I'm not slowing down. And God is actually bringing me back into greater youthfulness because of all the years that I was abused and tormented and raped of my energy. So I'm going to actually be going back in time. I'm not going to be aging. I'm going to be getting younger. Visually. My birth certificate will still show my age, but I'm going to be getting younger and younger. And that's what I teach too. I teach people how to work with their cells and their light body, so that you don't have to believe. You're only aging because you believe in those things. So change your beliefs. Right? In everything that you step forward on, draw it out. What is your connection? What is your relationship? Is your relationship divine? Is your relationship connected? Is your relationship sacred? Is your relationship exciting? Is your relationship creative? If it's light and happy and flowing and freeing, and you feel that connection, that alignment, your alignment is everything within you. Get used to feeling it. Feel your chakras, feel your pillar of light, feel your heart, feel all of your multidimensional bodies spiraling as one. That's when you can feel that your Merkaba is turned on, because you're going to feel it. Everybody's gifts are going to be turning on if you so choose to be a part of Ascension. You have to choose this. You have to choose to reunify with Source. I'm not just saying this is an airy-fairy thing. This is actual things that are being done right now. Source is allowing everybody this time right now to choose. Do you choose to be a part of unification, of oneness, and Ascension? Just because everybody else, when you walk out of your house, is disconnected and they don't know what's going on, doesn't mean that you can also be a part of that, let's just see what happens kind of attitude. You can, that's okay. We are awakening at a very fast pace. You choose your earth. You choose your earth. So you're either going to choose to be a part of the earth that you intend, and you intend to be a part of the new earth where it's unified oneness. You're learning about Source. You're learning about your relationship with plants and water. You're learning about the divine interaction of what happens when you infuse water with loving grace. Do that for a week. Do it for a week and see for yourself. This is where I've always said, life is your proof. That's why you don't need anybody else. So you don't need a guru outside of you to say, let's follow that person, let's follow this, but let's create a secret cult, let's create this. No. Things like that you will see very quickly. Anything that is set up like that is usually set up like that because there's the same people that have no sense of self that want to meet and gather and be around more people with no sense of self, so that they can gather and talk and gossip and create things where they can keep separation, because it kind of makes them feel like they're more powerful or more important, but they're really not. They're just creating a lot of hate. And again, your karma is. So again, what earth are you creating? What earth are you going to be a part of? What is the connection in the relationship? It's everything. Your connection with food will allow you to either lose weight, gain weight, or keep it neutral. Your relationship with people and humanity is either neutral, positive, or negative. Your relationship with the water, with nature, with anybody. This is where we have to step beyond religion, because there's so much religious trauma, as we see folding out every day. Everything is about connection and relationship. That is God. That's the nuts and bolts of it, dear lighted ones. And that's why I'm protected. And I always will be. Because where I go and where I breathe and who I am alters creation. I wake up things that have never been awoken before. I pull forward a truth that has never been pulled forward. I can take one topic and I can pull it from the ancients and it can be spoken about. And right from the temples of the most ancient, it becomes new again. That's who I am as a cosmic traveler. I traverse. I go here and I go there. That's what I do. I weave things together, and here in this now moment, it's new. Never been talked about. Never been activated in the hearts. Never been activated in the fields. Never been activated in the omnipresence, and here it is right now. Right now, right now. You an omnipresent being, if you so choose to believe it and know it and be in relationship one. Or you can be in disconnected and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and polyamorous, whatever you want to be. There's no judgment. But God is showing each and every person, when you separate yourself to that degree, you'll be scattered and you will be messy and you will be chaotic. Because there's no way the body, in and of itself, can operate in that many multitudes. It just can't. You will feel as if you're going insane. Because the brain cannot function in that way. That's where psychosis hits. Ascension is a very real thing. It's when you, as the whole of you, is spiraling and operating. Every time there's a new dimensional code placed on the sheaths, you are being bathed with those new codes of light. Anything that is not healed and harmonized in the lower vibrational template, if you haven't healed it, it's going to be compounded with everything else on top of it. That's why I said again, when you're doing those dark things, you're putting so much pressure of darkness on yourself. On top of not healing those soul fragments, it is impossible to have anything else but utter destruction on your entire life. Body, heart, mind, and soul. Unless you're working with the Alliance of Light, like I teach and like I offer. And this is why the collective is in such need, and the leaders should be focusing on nothing else but healing the people. Our light will only accelerate. Our planet will only accelerate. The omnipresence field is going to get more pure and refined. Everything that is not truthful, everything that is not aligned, everything that is not in alignment of the highest and the purest of the 5D experience, everything will be pulled out and seen everywhere. There's no hiding. There's no more secrets. Secrets have to be brought forward. So do show your teams and show the universe, yeah, I'm going to, you know what, this has been bugging me. I'm going to put this on the table. Let's talk about it. Let's clear this out. And then you find out your body is operating so much nicer. You're finding out that you're having better dreams and you're feeling more free and you're passing food a bit easier. That's energy. Everything is energy. If you're holding 10 or 20 or 30 lies for a friend because you're in this secret group and coven, all of your group are holding that level of density. And your bodies are going to start decompressing and decomposing. Your body cannot handle the darkness, plus the not healing of the soul fragments, plus the not healing of everything else that's happened, plus a new refined light bedding. Your body just won't be able to do it. Your body will start breaking. So really determine how important keeping secrets and lies are. If you're lying, you're not being truthful and you're choosing not to heal. You need to get to that core wound. You're not accepting yourself. That's what a lie is. You're rejecting of yourself. Because you don't think that the truth of who you are, the rawness of who you are, is worthy of being loved and protected and kept safe. Well, God's already showing you. That's why God keeps showing you. You're going to be truthful, you're going to be truthful, you're going to be truthful. Because you can be loved unconditionally. We keep showing you this, but you keep lying. Okay, well then you choose to be on an earth where it's nothing but lies. So you've made your choice. You've told the universe. That's how deceit works as energy. No foundation will stand on deceits and lies. Period. That's why I chose divorce. I refuse to be in time, and I refuse to be with those that lie. Why would I? I'm doing the work, but you're not. No. Bye. See ya. Time's up. A long time ago. Stop fucking with my life. They don't have a right. Nobody has a right to fuck with me. Everybody's been told. Why would you? Because there's wounding. So go heal your wounds. God won't let you touch me. I want my money back. I want what's meant to be mine. I want it sent to me. So if you want to make it right, those from the past, those from Calgary, those from other timelines, you know what you owe me. because you know how hateful you've been for no reason, because you don't even know me, you never even met me. You're wounded. That's what you're going on inside of your soul. So deal with that. I'm showing you how to heal. There's no other counselor that would pay, that would not be paid anything. Counselors are average $150 to $200 an hour. That's what a counselor will charge you. I've given you better information, higher vibrational information on how to heal something that's been in your lineage for 3,000 years, and you're getting it for free. This is where God sees everything that I do, because I do it with passion, because I care about humanity, because I too was once messed up. I too was once feeling low about myself. I once too was feeling insecure because people projected onto me about how lack they were. No, I'm not going to take that. I know that I was born fucking awesome, and I'm going to start shining and nobody's going to stop me. I don't give a fuck what they say. That's their beliefs. I don't care. No, I get to be fully me, and I'm going to be. God sees every single time I come on and I give people free wisdoms of how to heal. I teach you how to heal. I teach you how to connect with Source. I teach you how to connect with the higher version of you. I teach you how to be more youthful. I teach you how to care about your human collective. I teach you how to connect with the water and the trees and the nature. I teach you how to be a better life. Is that not what anybody wants? To live a better life so that you're abundant in all ways, you're rich with spirit? So now I'm starting to say, I want my money now because I'm worth fucking more than any leader out there. And yet I'm the one sitting homeless. How's that okay? And this is when God starts to move things away. No more. She's going to be lifted. You will not abuse this one. God sees everything you think and you say and you do. And you don't just do it because you want to be seen as doing a good deed. You do it because that's who the vibration of your soul is. When nobody's looking, you do a good deed. When you see a little wormy struggling to get back to the grass, you stop and you put the wormy back in the fucking grass. Because you know that your food is reliant on the nutrients that wormy gives. Maybe not to you, but maybe to the family next door. No, every ounce of effort on this planet matters to God. Why? Because God is all life. God is the soil. God is the wormy. You see what I'm saying? We're beyond religion, because religion won't teach you that. Everything is Source Creator. Everything matters. Because everything is spirit. God knows how much I've given, and I deserve to receive. I'm really, 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 really profound. And I'm going to be lifted. And it doesn't matter what any hate group wants me to not be. I will be. Because what they think and what they are and what their woundings are has no bearing on God's plan for me. Nor too does it for you. So walk the other way on all secret groups and covens and all of these things that are not about unity and peace and sovereignty. If you have to hide something, run the other way. Be truthful, be raw, be embracing, be transparent. Know that you're coming forward every day to say, God, oh boy, I haven't been doing that good on that whole truthful thing, and I've kind of did a few things to people because I was wounded, and I said a few things I shouldn't have said, but let me do my best today. I want to do whatever I can to be the best version of me today. I'm going to work on these 3 things today, Spirit. And show Spirit that you want a connection again. Show Spirit you want to be remembered by the relationship that God has with you. My role here upon the earth is to remind everybody about the relationship with Spirit in all ways. With the oceans, with one another, with your hair, with your skin, with your youthfulness, with your DNA. You have a relationship with your DNA that nobody on this planet practices. What happens if you were to start tomorrow your journal about your relationship with your DNA? I guarantee you in 1 month from now, if you devote this to yourself, I challenge each and every one of you, those that are so inspired, that are so excited, if you choose to have a relationship with your DNA in the most loving and most positive, profound way, start journaling what happens between now and a month from now, and start doing your work with you being in relationship and connection with your DNA and spirit. See what happens. I guarantee you in a month from now, you're going to be starting your own YouTube channel. You're going to be starting your own blogs, and you're going to be talking to everybody else about what you learned about having a relationship with your DNA. This is how I teach and how I activate the genius within each and every one of you, because I am the speaker of that which is holy. I am the speaker of that which is the Christ. I am the speaker of that which is all creation, of the interfacing of connection and relationship, that which is spirit. I know who I fucking am. I allow people to see the genius and the brilliance of who they are as spirit. And you can't fake it. Why? Because it comes from a purity of just wanting good for creation. And somehow, some way, God will bless me. Because if you're blessed, I'm blessed. And if you can feel passionate about being excited about your DNA, I've left this planet a beautiful woman. If I can save one child from not being molested, I've left this planet a beautiful woman. If I've created a new library and a new feeling, a new meaning for divine feminine role models, I've left this planet a beautiful woman. There's been no other divine feminine woman that's talked about divine feminine energies and placing divine feminine back on the leadership board of who we are as teachers, healers, and divine intelligence than myself. And we don't have to have certificates, and we don't have to have educations up the yin-yang. We just have to be good people that want to serve God. Because that intelligence and that wisdom and that book knowledge, it's already there. You're just activating your DNA. And you're clearing away the density so that you can start living in your light and start speaking your light and start living in that essence of your richness of spirit, your fulfillment of spirit, your richness of beauty. Because that beauty is spirit living through you. That's why people that are attuned, their light fields get turned on, their chakras get turned on, they just seem to be glowing. And their skin is radiant and vibrant, and they feel beautiful, and their hair starts to grow more thick and lush and rich. Everything's in alignment because you get that relationship. You can't copy it. Every day I come on, I give you guys wisdoms. I give you truthful, pure, and simple. You are so adored by God, and if you could feel what I feel with God, you would never, ever, ever, ever say a lie, speak a lie, or project any ill towards anyone. And the other day I was crying in such gratitude, so grateful. And there's moments in my day where I just sit in peace and I just sit to reverberate the essence of all my teams. And I just go within and I just feel the silence of all of my teams gathering. And they usually gather in appreciation and celebration of my new phase that I'm in. And just appreciating the acceptance of where I've come from. You know, accepting the past is a big thing for moving forward. Accept the challenges, accept the things you don't understand, accept how it's been so hard and challenging. Because things make sense as you go along, because you see those touch points were necessary. You see those challenges of lack and less than and detachment. You see that detachment had to come. You had to detach what was not health, that health version of you. You know when your body just doesn't feel right around someone. You know when your alignment of your truth is just not matching another person's truth. That's why when you're going forward in your vocational alignments, you're going to be feeling in your pure certainty what is going to be a good contract for you and what's not going to be a good contract for you, whether it's a relationship, whether that's a work partnership. And then you can really start weeding out those energies you really want to work with and always focus on the one of the highest excitement for creativity. Because you know that creativity is directly aligned with your higher self and your spirit. And in that appreciation, I was just telling Spirit, you know, thank you, Holy Spirit. Thank you, Holy Spirit, for allowing me to see, you know, just how far I've come. Like, I can't believe what I've been through. You know, I'll just have a flash of an experience. I'll have a flash of a memory. I'll have a flash of something that was so hard to process. You know, how could you process that and accept it as a part of your story and make peace with it? That's healing work. When you think about the things that the harms people have done and you make peace with it. You can't change anything that's happened, but you can make peace with it and wish them well. Wish that they have, you know, better future. Wish that they have better love for themselves to do, you know, wiser choices, you know, self-loving choices, kind choices, to, you know, help themselves throughout the day. Be less of a people pleaser and more of an inner realm master. That's the work. That's the things that nobody sees. God sees it. God knows your exact intention of what you do for yourself and how you want to live as a kinder soul. That's what matters when you pass over. Because you can show Spirit in any moment, I'm willing to let go of everything. I just want to feel the love of God. And so I was sitting there in so much appreciation, and I just started to cry. And God, you know, resonates, this bounding, booming resonation of God's voice. And sometimes the God comes through in the mother and the father, or sometimes God just comes through as the father. And the Father is coming more and more lately because he's reminding me of the power I have to transcend any challenge, because it's that knowingness that pushes through those veils of illusion, those veils of uncertainty, those veils of you can't, when there's 1,000 people throwing spell work and targeting you from all over the world and all over the globe and realms and dimensions. There's only you and God that are pushing that veil forward, because there's nobody with me. There's been nobody with me on my ride except Spirit. And Spirit resounding, chant, you know, the energies that I want to emulate to all of humanity is that the level of God's adoration for you is something you can't put into words. It just it ripples through your entire body, and you're just changed. Alchemically, you're changed. And that's why I do what I do, because there is nothing outside of anything than that experience of your reunification with Spirit. When that moment that you just soften to listen, you soften to just be with Spirit, you soften just to remember that relationship and that reunion, that communion. And you feel all your teams, and you'll start to hear things. You'll start to hear your teams and your celestials and your guides talking to you. And that resounding voice that fills up your entire beingness is my... And you just start crying, because that's all it's been about. Each of us got placed into homes where it was so difficult. Our parents did the best they could, but they certainly weren't functional on any level. They were wounded and disconnected. They had no relationship with who they were, or Source, or Spirit. They had warped beliefs about Source or Spirit or God. And then they showed you what not to be. And some were just so in no sense of self, they just continued those toxic patterns. And then God just comes through and just reminds you, and every vibrational cell within you just gets realigned to pure love. And my body is made whole. Because I've been through so much. And then I remember, in such gratitude, I say, my goodness, God, thank you that you've put me in a place like this where I'm physically safe. God makes sure that I'm safe. And then I think about all the people in the Middle East who are just going through every day as like an attack zone. And then I think about the children in the underground, where they're adults of people that are supposed to keep them safe, and they're being sold. And then I remember God just saying, I adore you. I just want you to be happy. The 3D titles and the money doesn't mean anything. Can you be the child in the playground and play again? Can you know that you have great skills of craft and art? Can you smile and make someone feel good today just because it was so nice to smile? And remember to be happy. That it's really the simple little things that God sees you in every day. Say, wow, I made a difference. I feel really good. And you go to bed at night and think, wow. And then your heart just breaks. You can feel the cracking in right here. That's your heart chakra. It's right in the very center. And you feel the cracking, and it just cracks and it cracks and it cracks. And you're breaking all of those densities. And God says, wow, you just let go of 10 years of darkness because you were so afraid to open up your heart. And it's just those little things that I just say, I'm so grateful. All I needed was that from God. And then God will show me in those moments of how profound I am. And then I just bow and I break down in tears like, Spirit, wow. And God just keeps imprinting and keeps imprinting. I'm profound, I'm profound, I'm profound. And it's my lifetime to realize that. And then I get to teach it, and I get to empower it, and I get to give it for free. This channel I've given for free, of teachings and energy and of things that will wake you up out of a sleepy slumber. And your consciousness will feel alive again, because the remembrance of connection and God is everywhere. And you get to choose what relationship you want with it. From here on out, I choose really good relationships that aren't abusive, that respect my word, respect my heart and my soul. I live in all realms and I live in all universes, and I want to enhance humanity so much. Humanity has so much to offer, and we are so diverse in our beauty. And every single soul on this planet is so beautiful. And God loves you so much. You don't need to force somebody to be with you. God is always there. And the churches and the pastors, they can't teach you how to connect with that again. I teach you how to do that. It's just with breath and intention of remembering that you're a sacred child and your parents did the best they could. And if you're not in a loving space, you're going to attract friends that aren't that as well. And then you get abused so many times, you just think, okay, maybe this is my path. Maybe I'm just meant for a path of abuse. No, you're just getting stronger. You got to walk away this time. You got to let them sort it out. Because you can't heal everybody. Sometimes they need a little bit more time to practice self-love. And God will never want you to stay in something that's bad for you. And choose relationships that are truthful and honest. Because when you're transparent, you're gonna ask that vibrationally of everything that steps before you. Because that's a code with the universe. It's one of the universal laws. As you put out, so it's going to come back to you. So have that as your code. My code is to be truthful and transparent. I expect it to come before me. I expect all of my business partners and all of my work from here on out to be 100% transparent, equal measure, so that I'm receiving equally. Have that as a code. Have it as a code is that every day you're connecting in new relationship with your DNA. You're connecting with new relationship on how to be God again. So that you can absolutely, unequivocally be saved from here on out. Where I walk, the ground changes. I know it. I can show people how to do that. That when you step on Gaia, you're going to see a vision come up and you're going to have a story unfold because Gaia said, wow, you connected with me. I love the relationship with you, Joanna. Here's a story. And those things have happened to me, and I've shared them on my channels, and I've shared them on my radio shows. That where I walk on the earth, I'm shared with stories that Gaia has offered me in the relationship I have with her, because I adore her and she adores me. And I share such deep stories of spirit through the grass and the soils, and I understand the importance of life. I understand the importance of every animal and how our caretaking of them is so important. And that's why Gaia blesses me and God blesses me. Those things are intangible, right? It's not a Gucci bag, but they're the things that bring me to tears. That's what matters. And if I was to take my body and to ascend just as Jesus did, I would leave this planet a happy woman. Because I know I did great things. I brought codes and I brought life to this planet that has never been brought before. I brought realizations and stories to this planet that have never been brought before. When I go on my sacred traveling trips, I activate the land that has never been activated before. I brought stories from the ancient times, and I've brought them forward and I've shared them. That's why my work was so important to me. Because every time I go to a sacred place and I carry those stories forward, I'm carrying them forward for the multiverse, and I'm weaving in new informations and new wisdoms. That's why it's so important. A part of the healings that I teach you, and a part of becoming aware of your consciousness level as a higher vibrational being, is your expression is so important to the consciousness level and the quotient of light that is operative in the omnipresence. So if you're not sharing, that omnipresence never gets changed. That's why I said it's always stand before me. Because it changes. When you're sharing your stories, stand before me, share. I help you change what is altering in your field. I help change what's in the DNA. When I say stand before me, it's an offering for you to be healed. Because deceit can't reside where I stand. And you will be cleared. But those without a heart to hear, they won't hear. And when I step on sacred land, new stories come forward and I weave it into the now and I share it. And things like that, the normal collective, normal people don't know and they don't understand, but God sees. And that's why the systems of light and the heavens, and I have so many beings that support me, because they see when I add new offerings and when I step on sacred land and then I come forward and I share it, they see that those new wisdoms are now in the omnipresent field. And all of creation has been forever changed. When I brought forward the story of the Plutonians with that one client, no other story has been shared about the Plutonians than that time that I shared it. They were included from that point into the universal ascension for humanity because I shared that story. That was important. That client had brought from their representations of their councils and their family lineages. And they came forward from all of the celestial councils to say, wow, that made a difference. Thank you. So it might not appear to anybody that I might not be doing anything miraculous and making beautiful buildings and those things that might seem tangible. But God and the councils know how much I operate and why I'm called on things that nobody else can do. And I'm very grateful. So, so very grateful. God will show each and every one of you who you are as divine and sacred. You're just stuck in a little bit of a warping when you took on a little bit too much of the outer. And then you started to build a story around it. And that's why storytelling and conjuring and spell work is so, so dangerous. Because then you start forcing stories about that might not be who you are, that might not be who you want to be. But you're forcing yourself into a narrative of dark energy and conjuring and entities and secrets and secret covenants and secret vows and all of those things. You know, there's far grander and greater healings if you just allow God just to be God and live through you. And just trust the sacred process of who you are as a destiny unfolding. You don't need any of those things, and this is where I teach over and over and over again. Those energies will be all pulled up and they have to be faced. Because you will come to your own realization in your own time when you just sit with Source. And all of that messy, chaotic, deceitful, secretive, non-transparent, no integrity, devil energy that you had to experience because you chose it. You thought it gave you power, but it actually degraded you. And it made you feel false and less. And it put you in a very messy, messy, chaotic situation that is criminal. Those acts are criminal. It's criminal to your soul, it's criminal to your spirit. It just unfolds in the physical matter in different ways. Right? Matter always follows spirit. So you're given an opportunity now to realign your spirit, realign with the higher version of you, realign with that aspect of you that says, no, I'm going to do this differently, spirit. I just want to feel you just shake everything within me. Shake out that density and remind me that I belong with you. No religion will teach you that. I teach you how to be cosmic again, how to traverse any timeline that you so choose, but you have to learn the soul lessons on why you chose to feel so icky about yourself, that you ever had to hurt somebody. Never force anybody to be with you. Why? Because the person that's meant to be with you is going to be with you. And they're going to want to be with you in the good times, in the tough times, in the challenging times. You're never going to have to force them. They're going to want to jump by your side and say, no matter what, I'm here for you. And that's what's kind of been the most sad. And I've been dealing with it for many, many lifetimes. Because people at my level, we have to have those really, really silent lifetimes. And I'd rather be in that. Because there's just, people are going through a big wake up right now, and it's really scattering for somebody like myself that's so sensitive. You have to have that time with just you and God so that no matter what happens, when you're walking through the forest of doom, you know that all you just need is that breath with God. And that's why anybody that's placed before you that is as chaotic as an Epstein-like character. And if you watch that interview of Weinstein, I think it's called Weinstein's interview with Epstein. If you look up that YouTube video, and he'll explain his interaction with Epstein. When you're faced with situations like that, where they're cloned and their mind scraped, and then they're reprogrammed to be something vile. That's what Epstein is. That's the embodiment of Epstein. And there's a lot of it on our planet. When you're faced with those experiences, Weinstein, how he explains it is just an experience of, it's been a co-creation of another program or agenda. And when you're placed with that, Weinstein has a very good sense of self. He's a very, very smart man. I don't agree with everything he says as far as quantum physics is concerned, because he's disconnected from the source aspect. So, but he's a very, very intelligent man. He's a very, very powerful sense of self. So I love watching his YouTube videos. Very smart man. And he challenges humanity in a lot of ways. He has some really great podcasts. So you wanna go into higher, intelligent podcasts, look up his stuff. He's a brilliant man. I think he's quantum physicist. Yeah, I think or relative. Yeah, I can't remember what kind of physics he does, but he does. I think it's quantum relativity. And so that type of knowingness that we just practiced a second ago, where you just sit with God, that allows you that very pure sense of self where there is no wavering. So it doesn't matter who's placed before you, you know your sense of self. And therefore, anybody that's signing papers or trying to fraud or trying to take things from you that is rightfully yours, the heavens will put you through those tests so that you absolutely know, no, I'm going to be a leader of people going through the most tumultuous times humanity's ever seen. I know who I am. I know what to do, Spirit. I can lead this collective. And so many of you will be tested on your own staff and their mantle of the Christ. And again, it has nothing to do with religion. It has to do with who you are and the connection in your relationship with Spirit. Do you know that your cells respond to you when you call your cells spiritual? Practice it for a week. Life is your proof. I challenge you. My next video will be in a week from now. From here on out, get out your journals and put down, I'm going to speak to my cells and know them and have a relationship with them as their spirit. And I'm going to see the difference between how I feel, how I look, how I treat myself, and how I treat others in 1 week from now. And then when I come on my video, those only that so desire to be of a higher vibrational self and spirit, because God watches and sees all of you. We're in class. We're always in class. Will you be on the earth? Will you be on the soul's evolutionary path? What will you choose to be? And then put your comments down. I am a mother matriarch for this planet, and you are my children. I care about you, and I care about your bodies, and I care about what you think. That when you go out to the world, you have a great life. And I sing beautiful hymns to you at nighttime about how much you are loved, and your body, and your heart, and your spirit, and your soul, everything matters. And that you break beyond all traditions. You break beyond all the familial and lineage wounding, and you see yourself as something special and shining, because you are. And God and the angels sing to you, just as I do. I'm that human form that God placed before you. To know that you are heavenly, to know that you are cosmic and you are alien, and that you're a misfit sometimes, and that's okay, because that's why God made you. You're meant to break the mold. I'm just the human form that God placed, so that you could know God in a different way. And it's beyond everything that you were taught, and it's so much more. Because we're meant to be softer now and more miraculous. The only way a miracle can live through you is if you're allowing and surrendering into the softness that is God. God doesn't force anything. Within a breath, reality changes. That's God. I said to my teams one time, I said, we were talking about the profundity of something and how something might manifest. Just thinking about the ins and outs of the intricacies of this one profound, huge thing. And I said to my teams, I'm always talking with my spirit guides. I'm always constantly talking with spirit. And I said, how would that happen? Like, I couldn't believe how? And they laughed. They literally laughed. They said, Joanna, it's like nothing. It's like a breath. We do this all the time. we have such a, it's just been entrained for us to be so okay with such non-existence. But miracles are like an every minute kind of thing. And it's held within the very center and the crucible of relationship and connection. If you don't have a connection, you're not going to get it. Again, only the hearts that can hear. And not everybody's going to go. Because you do have to practice that reconnection after living 50 years or 30 years or 20 years out of utter disconnection because you've been abused or hurt. But you're the one that you chose this lifetime to take yourself out so that no other person in your generation will ever have to be abused. That was your promising in your contract. Your soul blueprint holds so much. Your soul blueprint holds all the challenges and all the themes and all the wonderful things that you knew you could get through. How profound is it when you wake up one day and say, absolutely, oh my, I can't believe just the alliance with Spirit. Everything that I've ever wanted to manifest, everything has been just because of my alliance with Spirit. Everything that I have been, everything that I have manifested, every challenge has been my human experience to navigate in and around the beliefs and the wounding and the patterns and all of that karmic stuff that everybody has to go through. I have a higher interfacing, but it's still a human thing. I have to go through that minutia. I was born human like everybody else. I have to traverse the early childhood woundings. Everybody does. You're not going to get through Ascension without going through and healing it. You have to heal it. Your parents did the best they could, but it's not all you are. You were born a star. So be that. Don't be okay with mediocrity. Don't be okay with conformity. Don't be okay with not saying what needs to be said. Say it. If something's going on in your house, say it. If there's abuses going on in your house, say it. Be that version of light. Be that pillar. Be that champion that says, no, we're going to do better. We're going to sit down and sort this out. There's no reason for lies. And if there's lies, people have to discern whether they're going to carry on or not. Because you can choose to walk out and step out. Don't ever think that lying and abuse, being treated less than, being treated as a topic or a token or a toy, don't ever think that that is okay, because it's not. And tell your children, empower your children, encourage your children, never, ever, ever be okay with abuse physically, mentally, emotionally, verbally, or sexually. It's not okay. It's not normal. The pattern has to stop. And when you reconnect and do those few little practices and start speaking to yourself as spirit, start speaking to yourself as sacred, you will prove to yourself. I don't need any proof. I talk with God every minute. I'm showing you there are ways that you can absolutely transform everything in the social collective, from religion to beliefs to politics to healing to medicine. I'm showing you that that is more than that. You're multidimensional, you are sacred. Practice it. That's what I teach. That's why God will place me before billions. You are the version of the Christ. You just forgot. You were wrapped up in a whole bunch of stories that weren't yours, beliefs that weren't yours. So accept it and own it. Honor the experience, because it taught you so very much. Sometimes what you don't want to be is what you have to go through. Because then you say, that wasn't like me. I don't like being like that because that's just not me. It's not true to myself. There's a whole bunch of energy in my field that I was taking on and I acted out. So understand that if you're an empath and if you're a crystalline child, if you're an indigo, taking on other people's energy is something you really have to focus on clearing and cleansing and sealing your aura. Seal your aura before you go out, and then cleanse it and clear it, and then seal it before you go to sleep, so that you're not affected in dream time by anybody else's stuff. When you seal your aura before you go to bed at night and seal your dream time, seal your consciousness, nothing and no energy or entity can play with you in that dream time. And teach your children how to do it. Children are so very sacred, and they deserve better, and we've done a very poor job. Everybody plays a part. Don't leave it for somebody else. Stand up and be courageous. And God will meet you, meet you, meet you. God will meet you equal measure. Just watch what's going to unfold. God is the maker of all things. Make no mistake about that. And people forgot. And they got twisted and warped in all these secret underground things. If you got to be secret, that ain't God. If you got to go through humiliation tactics, that ain't God. If you got to go through vows and secrecy and holding people's lies, that ain't God. God would never have you take a lie for somebody. Why would you? It messes up your entire chakra system. This is how you know a higher vibrational person. Higher vibrational person knows the absolute mechanics of every ounce of energy. A lie is an energy. A truth is an energy. A loving thought is an energy. A smile is an energy. Knowing thyself is an energy. Everything is an equation. Everything has makeup. Therefore, thus, then, who are you? And then you can be discerning when you walk in a place. Wow, I just learned some profound, so profound universal wisdoms. I'm going to practice this today. Anybody says, hey, if I tell you something, you promise to keep this as a secret and keep this for me and keep that for me. I need to tell somebody. No, you just keep that to yourself. I'm walking pretty clear right now. My karma's okay. Stand up for yourself. Stand up for your spirit. Don't take on anybody's stuff. It's not your stuff. Don't hold anybody's secrets. Their secrets are between them and God to say, how do I clear this? How do I transmute this? And then God will direct. God will direct some to go to those that are healers. I walk with Anubis. There are many people, and I knew this coming here. There are many people, I didn't know this when I was little, but I know it now. There are many people that come to me before they pass. This has been how things have always been. Because I talk to all realms, I talk to all sides. Death is not a big deal to me. Death is just an experience of transitioning from one story to another. It's not really what we think it is. People cross me at death time because there's a balancing of the scales that has to occur. And God will place certain people before people just before they pass or before they go into a next life transition, because that's a test on all things. There is so much wisdom and secrecy, and that's only up to God and the people that are chosen because they've been trained and prepared. It's up to nobody else to know it. Again, if a heart doesn't have the capacity or the aptitude to know it, it won't. And it'll be shut down. That's why nobody can say, I'm going to take your destiny. No, you won't. You don't have the aptitude or the capacity. That's why anybody signing my signature will absolutely get karma. Why? Because you don't have the capacity. You don't have the aptitude to carry who I am. Not even for a minute. Can you walk with Anubis? Most can't, because most are living in fear. Because they haven't been trained through the mystery schools. They haven't been trained. They haven't been practiced. They're still doing spell work to hate people. Okay, well, you're not trained. You will not carry that. You will not carry that tool. Okay, so that's your okay. God doesn't judge you. But absolutely no, you don't have any right to go out and ask for God for anything better. You have to prove yourself to you. God's not asking you to prove yourself, but God's not going to bless you for a gift of Anubis if you don't know who you are and you're afraid of everything and you're pushing hate on people. God would not put you in the placement of leadership. You have to earn that. As it's being showed in our creative collective. The collective has no leadership capability. They have no idea who they are. That's why the politics are falling and crumbling. And people like Putin are saying what Putin says. They're not aligned beings. They're very low vibrational beings. They're patterned in low vibrations. They're caught up in the rhetoric and their agendas, and they're batting back and forth with one another. That's all it is. It's banter. It's political banter. Nothing is resolved. Nothing is evolved. Nothing is growing. Nothing is expanding. If a leader is not expanding, if a leader is not growing, then don't be around them. If that leader, if that person, if that sect church leader, if that being before you that claims leadership, if they are not growing, if they're not expanding, if they're not speaking on their next level up, walking up that mountain, then they should not be in front of the people. If leaders are in front of the divine collective and they have no idea what a dark night of the soul, they should not be leading. If you don't know how to get through a dark night of the soul and get through it with the honor of your connection and your relationship, and you're not acting out and abusing other people, because it's a very sacred experience to work with your shadow. There's no leaders that do that. There's no leaders that talk about it. There's no leaders that represent healing and sacred land and sacred people as a top priority. Thus then, dear lighted ones, I'm teaching you sacred wisdoms. What is before you and who are you? Who are you? Thank you for all the love hearts. Thank you. There's much to learn, dear lighted ones. There's no reason why you ever put your focus on anybody else. Focus within and just wait. If you do those two things that I offered to you, if you so choose, it's up to you. Most people don't do the work. That's why they won't ascend. Because people just don't want to do the inner work. First time when I awoke and I said to my teams, I was so excited. I got all the journals and I started doing writings and drawings and I was doing all these things. It was just like being activated into my normal self. It's like, wow, I feel good like this. This is who I am. I'm drawing pictures. I'm drawing diagrams. I'm doing illustrations. I'm doing channelings. I didn't know this is like who I really was, because I was so practiced in being a lower vibrational version of me, because I was conformed into turning off my spirit. I was conformed into turning off that connection with my higher self. But when I started to awaken, I started to do all these really wonderful things. I wanted to share it. So then I got on a radio show and I started to do a radio show. That grew. And in this expansion of who you become, you never know why you're writing things out. You never know why you're drawing things out. You never know why you're journaling. It just feels so good to be spirit again. You can't ever go back to being shut off once you're awake. And you start to remember all the blessings and all the grace of who you've always been. And you just forgot it for a while because you were so conformed into feeling like you kind of wanted to fit in. But then you realize, wow, maybe it's okay being kind of a misfit, because, wow, I feel so good about who I am. I feel really amazing. I'm doing all this beautiful artwork. I'm doing poetry. You're starting to become more spiritual and more aligned in your relationship with you. It's okay to have that relationship with you. You're meant to have a very deep and loving and nourishing and robust experience with who you are. You're meant to be vibrant in who you are. You're meant to have a beautiful expression and experience with who you are. And you get these conversations with spirit, and spirit will give these little tips and hints everywhere. They'll never always tell you the answer. They'll always give you little tips and hints because you're meant to figure it out. That's what makes a great guide. Your guides will always direct you back to being better. You figure it out. You show yourself that you can do this. As I said to you earlier, if you try those two things, you be your own proof. You be your own Christhood. And every time I talk to Jesus, Jesus always asks me more questions than he ever gives me any information. That makes a great master. And Jesus will always, always, always celebrate you because you got there on your own. That is a great master. And when I'm walking, doing my everyday, I say, thank you, Jesus. I got there on my own. Thank you so much. And then Jesus will laugh. Of course you did. I knew you would. And then I'm like, really? You knew that? And Jesus is like, yeah, I knew it, Joanna. Of course. I know you. I'm you. That is the love of a great leader. When they say, I absolutely know the Christ in you. You'll get there on your own. What do you think? What do you feel? Go back, review that situation again. What do you feel? What could you have said? How could that divine relationship have changed? How could you infused? How can you have influenced something so that it's an equal relationship and connection? Get there on your own because you are. That's great leadership. So seek out that which is great leadership, dear lighted ones. It's very blatant and easy. God is always simple and easy. God will always want you to get there on your own. Why? Why is this path of ascension so miraculous, and why there are only chosen ones that are the leaders of the people? One of the first things that I was told and I was shown through inner visions and through inner work with God, through inner meditations and inner work with God, and through my journaling and inner work with God, the most important thing throughout all creation that all higher realms respect beyond all things. One thing. The right use of your free will and your ability to seek God all on your own. And there will be people like me that will be a catalyst, that will remind you of certain universal laws and karma, certain universal wisdoms that are always true in whatever environment, whatever religion you want to belong to. The universal laws don't care what your religious beliefs are. Universal laws are. That's why we're going to be transcending so-called religions. We will just simply be in awe of God. And we understand universal laws because we don't want to replicate karma all over again. There's grander order out there, dear lighted ones, and we are it. You were just taught a lot of low vibrational, separative, discriminative ways of existing. And they were okay for 3D, but you want to transcend beyond it because you are. I'm preparing you for that. And that number one thing is so important to every being on this planet. And remember it in every hour you walk this planet. There is nothing more important than each and every person's re-exploration, remembrance, reunification, reunion with God. All you're here to do and to be is to be your highest version of you in joy. And you will set that great example to know that all others can also experience God. However they choose to explore and go, because you have no idea, even though it might seem weird and awkward in their exploration of God, you have no idea the genius that version of God will come up with. That is God's most divine access to all creation. God is diverse, first of all. God is evolutionary in his diversity, in its diversity, in the mother's diversity. Every child is different, of course. Every insect is different, of course. Every animal is different, of course. No two leopards have the same spots, of course. So why would we hold such discriminations in our neighbors and in our family? Do you see the simplicity of it, dear lighted ones? When there is a higher wisdom, it just makes sense. You don't have to prove anything, you don't have to validate anything, it just is. You can fight against it and you can have resistance all you want, and it still is. God is so graceful in its diversity. So who is anyone to say something's right or wrong? The abuse of a child is not okay. That child is harmed forever. The touching of a child is not okay. That child is harmed forever. And that child has to be taught how to heal and how to trust. And those people that abuse have been abused. And they need to seek their own strength within themselves to be truthful and honest and raw and seek the correct healing. And if some choose not to, then they'll be shifted to where they can go and explore their woundings a bit more. But the innocent won't be touched anymore. It doesn't matter what ranking or what title you hold, these are just simply universal laws. I just speak it. And I'm grateful. So very grateful. God has been with me. My only alliance has been God. No secrets needed. And in that, dear lighted ones, we say namaste and love to each and every one of you. Life is very simple and very beautiful. You are born a beautiful person. You always have been and you always will be. How you move about life is just remembering it. There's great connection and great relationship. Just be it. Give yourself a day just to be you, fully you. It doesn't matter how anybody else thinks about you or reacts upon you. Just be you. Dance more, sing more, express more. Share your stories because they're worth sharing. It heals the entire collective when you share. In that expression, you change the omnipresence. In that expression, you change the fields that everybody walks on. Share your wisdoms, share your intelligences. And anytime you feel a negative thought or a negative